Hello and welcome back everyone to the Rainbow Six Siege Minor here at the HyperX studio in Hamburg. Allied Esports is excited to present the North American qualifier. Earlier today we had the European qualifier with Lestream winning it all. It was an exciting nail-biter at the final match which went to Game 3, and we hope that the semi-finals today will be as exciting and the finals if not even more exciting. So today's schedule is about to pop up on screen where you'll be able to see the timings for the first semi-final, which should be coming up soon. It's scheduled for 11 p.m. in Central European time, and then at 2 a.m. in CEST we'll have the North American finals. Those will be covered by our talented casters over on the side. However, before we jump over to them, we have a competition running on our Twitter. That's at Allied Esports, where if you comment on the pinned tweet and tell us who you think will win the next match, you have a chance to win a HyperX package. This includes the Cloud Alpha headset, a Pulse mousepad, as well as a mouse itself. It's a great package. You just have to let us know who you think will win. Anyway, I'm going to throw it over to our casters to cover today's action.
Was pointed out by our beautiful host over there, Nikita. You do have a chance at winning over one of those HyperX headsets and a bunch of other goodies as well. But for now, it's going to be Spacestation versus Honor Among Thieves in our first semi-final of the day. I'm James Turner Parkinson. Joining me once again is the wonderful Hap.
Yeah, well, it's going to be my first time as well casting NA, so I'm definitely going to be excited. Now I know you're a bit more of an expert casting NA, CL, and also it's going to be good to actually be here. Let's just quickly look at the bracket to see where and what teams are going to be in the semi-finals. At the top part we have Honor Amongst Thieves against Spacestation Gaming. Now Spacestation Gaming known as one of the best, well, memeing social media teams that they have out there. And on the other side we have Accelerate against Proximity.
Yeah, kind of interesting that Accelerate with the ones here. I really would have thought that Reciprocity would have been here, but they actually faced each other earlier in the bracket, actually in the quarterfinals. So yeah, very, very close. Proximity, not a very well-known team, but people might know one of the members among it is Kilo, who was part of the Spaghetti Monsters team that did play in the NACL course for Season 9. And Honor Among Thieves actually has quite a lot of notable members on their list as well. If people aren't quite familiar with the team, they did play in US Nationals very recently. In the qualifier for that. They didn't quite make the LAN, but they did put up a heck of a fight. So we are going to be coming into the rosters now and having a little bit more talk about that. But Spacestation Gaming, this is the roster that everyone is familiar with. It's going to be Thinking Nate, Charlotte, Rampy, Bosco, and Brian. This is more or less almost the roster that almost knocked out G2 at the Invitational. They did take one map off of them and almost took Villa off of them. Could have been a very close one. They've proven themselves to be one of the best teams in North America, and they're here to prove it once again. But on the other side of that, we have Honor Among Thieves, Prompted, Dave, Flack, Benji, and Billboard. Something I want to point out here is that Von was playing through the rest of the qualifier. Dave has stepped into sub because, of course, it is Mother's Day in America. So
it's in Europe as well, actually.
Yeah, in Germany, not in the UK.
Oh, it is in the Netherlands as well. So
well, there we go.
You're just Brexiting out of Mother's Day as well right now.
Brexiting out of everything apparently.
Unlucky.
But yeah, those are the teams we're going to have. And of course, I think people will be very familiar with Billboard, Dave, and Benji. They're quite notable players among the NA scene, especially in the pro scene, for quite a while. So yeah, Hat is not exactly an unknown team. They may be a bit of an unknown factor here, though.
Yeah, definitely. Like, everybody knows Spacestation if you even watched Pro League or any other big tournament as of that. So Honor Amongst Thieves are going to have the underdog position right here, which could prove well, work out well for them, as we almost saw Love Stream getting knocked off right there. But
we did, yeah.
So
in Europe.
Yeah, maybe they can actually knock out Spacestation as well. If we're quickly looking at Advanced Clubhouse, is firstly going to get removed, then followed by Oregon by Spacestation, Coastline by Honor Amongst Thieves, and to finish things off, Bank will be banned by the North American Pro League team. Now, we will be going to Villa first. Costa will be the decider, as Border will also be on the pick list.
So Border's quite an interesting ban here, and also I'd like to point out is that during the map ban phase of this, Hat did not mean to pick Villa. It was a mistake on their part. They meant to ban it. It seemed like there was a misunderstanding with the communication, so Yeah, they're playing Villa.
That's proving beneficial for Spacestation, especially since they almost knocked out G2 on Villa.
I think Villa's a really good map for Spacestation. Also, it's just a really good map for a team. If you're going against one of these teams that you're not really that familiar with their tactics, Villa is just a really good map to take. It's like Bank, right? Where it can be very defender-sided. I mean, Villa's the most defender-sided map in the game right now. But it's also very strategic. We also mentioned about earlier during the EU playoffs about how it's still a very new map. There's still a lot of stuff to be discovered about it. So you can still do quite a lot of things here.
We saw Avengers take down the stream, though, 6-1.
That is true.
So on Villa as well. Now, I believe they were starting off on the defensive side. So it shows how important it can be to actually go for like the defensive side, get those rounds in early.
Yes, it can be very important indeed. Producers like hiding cameras from us apparently today, so we're going to see how that goes down. But we're going to, let's talk a little bit more about these teams. So Honor Among Thieves, as I mentioned, US Nationals, they did play against Sonics. Unfortunately, they did fall to them, but at that point, they've kind of already proven they're one of the more dominant teams in North America right now. Despite the fact they don't really been around that long, they have a pretty experienced roster among them. I think there's a big potential for an upset here, especially considering that maybe Spacestation don't really want to show a lot, although at the same time, they don't really have anything else going on this season.
They don't have the finals, for example.
They don't have the finals for Pro League. So really, there's a lot of potential here for Spacestation, but they know they're going to probably face Accelerate in the finals.
Yeah.
They probably want to save things for Accelerate. So,
I mean, Accelerate won't have much time to review all these strats, right? Because they will be playing around the same time. So I'm thinking they could just go all out here and then go all out again.
What should be noted, actually, is Spacestation, I believe, did defeat Accelerate during the Swiss bracket. So
that is quite interesting. So they're
apparently
already
Accelerate
basically
had a very good qualifier.
Okay. Oh, well. We will see. First, Accelerate has to reach the finals as well. Same for Spacestation. Maybe neither of these teams will qualify. We will know that.
Maybe.
Could be
that
two
would
big
be
upsets.
a huge upset.
Indeed.
I mean, I think if anyone can cause it, it's going to be Hat over Proximity, mostly because they have the more experienced roster.
Yeah.
So, I think that's a big possibility, but I think Spacestation overall have kind of won the map bans here.
Especially with Villa coming through.
But Border is still an interesting one to develop, right? It's one of those maps where everyone knows it. You can play quite aggressive on it. We saw the stream basically do that their entire game.
That. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah. And I think a lot of teams as well, especially in North America, it's a very played map. It's a very map that everyone wants to go to. It's a very 50-50 map.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, it's one of the most better designed maps that's in the competitive
True,
pool right
like
now.
I think Border is one of the best maps that is out there. Definitely something that, like, people are asking for more maps like Border every now and then. I see it come by on Reddit, for example. And I think that's justified, just looking at how balanced it is, and it could be either... Like, it really depends on your strategy, whether it's going to be an attacking or defense-sided map, just because it flips around with the teams that are playing it. And of course, that counts for most of the maps, but not as heavy as it counts for Border.
Yeah, and it can be very experimental, as we've already
that
seen.
As well, yeah.
You know, especially with the objective rotation parameter being changed as well, where it was. We saw a lot more bathroom tellers coming through. We saw a lot more kind of surprise sides of like, let's go Cumsums first, let's go Vents first, let's throw off the other team and see what we can do to play around that. So yeah, I think like there's still a lot to do on Border. We talked a little bit about Villa, about how there's a lot to do there as well. It's not quite as forgiving as Border can be, though. Especially where we did talk about it. I think it's believe about 58% defender side. I think Kumiko's probably going to call me out on that, but
not sure.
Yeah,
I believe Consulate is also like he's the second most defense side of map right now. I think Consulate was like 57% last time I checked Wikipedia. So that's actually pretty big. I believe Villa actually moved down a bit towards more balance right now.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll get confirmation from Connor at some point when he calls me out on Twitter for misquoting his stats. But yeah, moving through, I remember when I coached for Polar Race, that was one of their maps that they really love to play, Border. And it's obvious why they would want to play Border, because they were a very, very aggressive team. They had a lot of underage runs on it, a lot of good talent in terms of aim. So it does tend to favor the team that has that more kind of aggressive strategy, that more kind of heavy aim strategy. So, and we did see that in EU as well.
We did see that indeed. Now, I think that is maybe due to the reason that border is set that much already. Like, you can still get experimental, but like the basics are set in stone somewhat.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much holds, so much takes that you can do. If you just purely specialize in those, then you can rely on the aim, as some people do.
So if I had to predict this, honestly, I think that Spacestation take Villa, and then Hat take border, but I think that Consulate can still go to Hat quite easily. I think it's still another one of those maps you can be very, very aggressive on, but it looks like we are just about ready to get into the game in just a few minutes, so we'll see if those predictions do hold. But honestly, I think Hat might take this 2-1 in a big upset if Spacestation aren't too careful.
I'm not too sure about the, like, I don't know NA scene as well as you do, but I'm thinking that because of the meme value that Spacestation has, that I'm gonna be voting 2-1 or 2-0 for Spacestation.
Also, can I just say, the transition screen, Allied Esports have done such a great job.
Definitely.
I'm sure everyone has loved the HyperX studio. We've loved it. The transitions, the overlays, everything has been absolutely beautiful from producers. So big shout out to them.
Beautiful and refreshing.
Yeah, very refreshing indeed. But we're going to get into the operator bans here. Spacestation will start out on the defense, it looks like, as we'll see the first operator ban coming out from them for the map.
All right, so first ban is going to be coming out. Spacestation has the opportunity to directly handicap Hat, and they will be going on with a Maverick. Now, that's nothing too out of the ordinary.
Yeah, no, Maverick does make quite a lot of sense here on Villa. We do see that kind of Maverick entry play come into play sometimes. We also saw in EU where Maverick was kind of coming into that vault area and trying to pick off defenders there. Capitao getting banned out by Hat does also make quite a lot of sense for those last second executes. We saw Lestream suffer quite a lot when they didn't have the Capitao to try and make those last second executes, so it can be very, very detrimental to the attack. And that kind of ban is probably going to swing things quite heavily into the favor of defenders. But it also does defend on the defense bans coming out here. Hat are going to be the first one to ban out a defender as they do start out on attack, and we'll see what that is going to be. I don't want to predict anything here just because I don't really know Hat that well of a team yet, but it is going to be Mirror. That's a pretty safe ban, I would say, but then I would say that Spacestation is probably going to ban out the Echo now. Yeah,
it's going to be either Echo or Maestro, and with the Maestro nerf, it's going to be Echo most likely.
Yeah, but they could still throw something in the works. Like Pulse could be a very, very effective ban on Villa. Valkyrie can be also. We saw the stream ban a lot of Valkyrie, but no, we are going to see the Echo. So pretty standard. Other than the Capitao, these are pretty standard bans for Villa, I would say. But I think the Capitao buff has really affected Capitao's ban rate.
Yeah, definitely. Like it's either you pick him or you ban him.
Pick him or you ban him.
It's like if you don't want to play with it or against it, you're going to be banning him, and otherwise you know he's going to be there for basically every single round. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. The new AoE, definitely effective, worked as intended. Maybe even a bit too much.
I was really hoping for the Fuse pick there from Dave, but that's unfortunate. Maybe he'll 6-pick it, you never know. Maybe they'll sacrifice the Thermite just so they can bring them in.
That is something that Benelux players do, and look at that.
Oh, he's doing it. Oh, please, come on.
Oh,
you can't tease it like that and just not give it to us. But no, he's going to give us the Hibana instead. It's going to be an Aviator Games Room attack to begin with. Hibana does make a lot of sense for this.
Yeah.
Just if you have control of study, it's like opening up multiple angles, getting into vault, getting into the both sides of bar. We'll see how it just go down. Of course, this is rather famously a really good map for Spacestation.
Yeah.
They almost got knocked out by Immortals on it during the group stage of 6 Invitational, but they'd bring it back. So, and you know, they almost knocked out G2, also very famously. So, and yeah, from just my experience of looking at Spacestation, Villa's a great map for them, but also the added bonus to that, what we were talking about, they start on defense, and the fact that this is probably going to go into the favor of the more tactically viable team. But then again, Spacestation probably don't want to show too much here, so we'll see exactly how that's going to work out.
Yeah, definitely will. Now, of course, you might question what is on the line. It's going to be that spot in the beautiful pyramid, the HyperX, for the HyperX minor. So
at the HyperX
Esports Arena, in the beautiful pyramid for the HyperX minor right there, and you can gain a spot for the major with that minor, and that is something that, for example, teams like Spacestation will definitely be looking out for, hoping that they can make an appearance right there, because as they weren't top 2 in a Pro League, they haven't received an invite yet.
Unfortunately not. It looks like we're seeing pretty aggressive roam strategy coming out here as Rampy all the way down there in the basement, thinking they're getting ready to just pop out of Art here to see what he can do. As Flack gets quick control of the landing stairs to see what he can do. Pushing onto one on the call Loaf here on the doorway to try and push into the back of Aviator. He's already got quite a lot of control. They've got control of 90 as well. It looks like Billboard's trying to get in here as well to support his teammate of Benji. This is a lot of control coming out, and Spacestation don't seem that prepared for it. They've lost control of 90 very, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But Charlotte is there, looks like, to deny that.
We're going to be seeing how that will be working out as the Legion is around the corner. Could potentially just sweep in right there, try and get a little pick right there. Chala is going to be trying to deny the X-Cowers and will indeed succeed to do so. And with that, one set of X-Cowers is going to be removed. It's going to be the entry this time for Flak. And that will be the good start that Space Station, Honorable Thieves are looking for.
Great shots coming out across the board, but Hat are on this site instead. Thinking Nade takes down one, but instantly gets traded out by Billboard as he get all the way into the site. But Benji goes down as well as prompted. And now it looks like it's all down to Billboard to try and recover. He gets Rampy on the stairs on the rotate. It's all down to between him and Bosco in a 1v1. This is interesting. As he will go for the revive. It looks like Bosco just trying to push down to the games room. As there we go. Diffuser is indeed down in the hallway as he just holds on as he can. A 1v2 situation. This is not looking too good for Bosco to try and clutch it up. If anyone can do it, it's going to be all down to Dylan Bosco to see what he can do. Billboard comes into study. He does get rid of that Valkyrie cam, watching his every movement to see what he can do. Bosco still holding behind that bar, and that bar can take a nuke to its front.
Yeah.
You know, and you just can't get anyone down through it.
Don't forget he still has 2 gas canisters left. With 30 seconds left, he's going to be having a very, very good position behind that bar, just being that bullet resistant right here. All he has to do is just pop it right there. We'll be taking down the player, Benji. Who's supposed to come through, is going to get tagged up quite there. They're actually walking into the vault right there. Complete rotate coming through. That one might actually take him down. Indeed, will do so. With that, the diffuser will be dropped. Bosco now in a one-on-one situation. Swaps over to the shotgun and gets the frag. And look at that. So happy about that. And actually perfectly played out right here. Just knew exactly where to play and throw his gas canisters right there. Picked up that first frag. That was so important. Because if that plan would have gone down, then that would have been a complete different situation.
Yeah, absolutely beautifully played by Dylan Bosco there with a 4K coming out from him to clutch the round for his team. So now getting through into round number 2, we are going to go to a trophy statutory room defense coming out from Space Station Gaming as they move through pretty confidently throughout Villa. Pretty heavy roam strategy coming out from them. Didn't quite work out for them. I don't think they managed to pincer quick enough. And the fact that I kind of set the pace at this point, they got quickly into the site. They got a frag right off the bat. They get the entry kill. And they get the nade from Benji down to Charlie, who's trying to bandit trick. Rampy's nowhere in sight.
It was a huge 2 kills early on right there. Like, with that on our most team, they should have grabbed it, but it was just Bosco behind that bar. As you said, can take a nuke. Just sitting there, catching all the bullets didn't even matter. Eventually picked up that 4K and clutched out that round. I assume Honor Amongst Thieves can be pretty, well, not really tilted about it, but they're like, that should have been our round right now.
Yeah, but they've managed to set the pace, and I don't think they'll be too upset with it just now. But now getting through into round number 2, we are going to see how it does go down as we go to a statutory and trophy room defense coming out. I mean, these tend to be the 2 sites, the upstairs sites, that tend to be the hardest to control on Villa. And if you're really going to win any attacks, I mean, this is where you want to win in order to put it into your favor. But where you really need to win is the downstairs sites to actually, stay in the game, so to speak.
Like, everybody's expecting you to both win statutory and games, for example, and then the kitchen or the library living room is going to be the bomb site to actually show that you're better than your opponent.
Yes, definitely, indeed.
And make a difference.
But Flank is going to come through onto the flank. Here, onto the study says. You see what I did there?
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Good
joke. Good wordplay.
But as he does come all the way through into the hallway. And this is a typical strategy here for any sort of statutory defense is just coming through into Aviator, reinforcing those two walls and holding it down. It's pretty easy to hold down this area, or at least delay quite a lot of time, but flashbangs are going to come through. Charla going to try and peek around, but always going to get so lit up, and there we go, Prompted. He is going to win that gunfight against him. No trade coming through just yet. Flagbangs is all the way through, but Rampy will trade it. As another one will come in, but Brian shuts him down. There goes Prompted, and now it's a 3v4. All of a sudden, Spacestation looking very, very good right now. Leisure Minds will get triggered, and you'll see him a billboard. He's so good. He just takes him down. That's Brian off the board. That's the Maestro gone as well. That powerful Alder no longer be able to use tap. This is not looking good at all, but billboard will get traded eventually by Thinking Nade.
And that means the 2-3 situation is now in favor of Space Station. We will see Dave trying to move in right here, but it's going to be that bar once again. We'll be spotting out the actual player, missing out the headshots though. And with that, he will make his position known. Eventually, we'll get the frag to get it with Benji. Look at Benji's HPs. That's not looking too good. One canister will again be destroying him, taking him out of play. And same goes for Guma. He could just potentially down him instantly.
Yeah, and those goon mines around the area can be very, very dangerous here for Benji as he starts to move in to the site. And of course, no longer having that IQ available to them, it's not going to be an easy job getting rid of these Legion mines. Potentially a nade could come through from Benji here to see what he can do. I'm not sure if he has any nades still available to him. I do believe he still has both of them up. And yes, he does. As he just slowly creeps around to see what he can do. Looks like he's going to rotate out onto the master bedroom balcony instead. That's probably a good call. This is a little late to be trying to do that kind of thing. 35 seconds left to go on the clock, and he will try and do so. Dave pushing all the way up into pincer with his teammate. Thinking Nade playing very, very safe. Does take out the drone, so he does know that he's here. And Bosco trying to smoke out onto the B doors. Trying to funnel everyone into one side. Looks like Benji's already made a decision that they need to push the Legion out. Nade is going to get prepped. They know where he is, but Thinking Nade does take down Dave. The nade comes through. He does manage to down Nade. And there we go. Benji is going to push all the way through. Again, a very similar situation to the last round, where Bosco, in a 1v1 clutch with the smoke, has managed to push through into trophy entrance. Instead, the trophy is looking pretty dire here. And it looks like Honor Among Thieves will not be able to plant. And Space Station will take round number 2.
Second time, Honor Among Thieves got the entry frag right there, but weren't able to translate it into a round. Space Station just too strong afterwards, just baiting them and having these crossfires set up as Dave once again teases us with Diffuse. Now he might actually finally 6-pick into that. Not thinking so though, as we are going to Dining Kitchen. And as you have said, this is the opportunity that Space Station has, is to show that they are indeed better than Honor Among Thieves to win this one.
Yeah, but don't forget, these are the sites that you do expect to win on that defense. But pushing through into round number 3, we'll finally go downstairs to the dining room and kitchen. We'll see the dock play coming out.
Yeah, indeed. See some aggressive plays, maybe.
This is actually pretty typical of Space Station, putting Rampy on the dock. That happens actually quite a lot from Space Station. It's kind of considered a ranked play. In my old team, it would be considered the Yoga play, where Yoga would constantly berate me about, he would insist, put him on the dock, and he'll get his kills.
Oh, Doc is a great operator, of course, has the ability to heal himself back up if you actually mess up. And
that's his whole meme. That's his whole meaning about,
you
know, being promoted to the dock and getting your kills. But we'll see if Rampy can really live up to the 92 Dream Team meme. As we see Honor Among Thieves with their third attack, but not getting around on the board just yet. They're bringing pretty much the same lineup every single round.
Yeah, seems so. Indeed, as I haven't seen. Has there been a swap? No, it doesn't look like it. I think I've seen all these operators the entire time already, so nothing changing too much for Honor Among Thieves. They do get the entry frags, it's just that they can't seem to make it work afterwards.
Okay, well, we will have a rehost after this round, it looks like, but until then, we will still play the round out, of course, as round number 3 looking interesting so far, as we will see the drones starting to come out, but oh no, we've already lost our Thatcher. Flack will get injured, but down but not out just yet, as he will get revived out by Benji. But again, very aggressive early strategy coming out from Space Station to try and hold this upstairs area as a slow but sure clear coming out from Honor Among Thieves. They're trying to get all the way into the site and try and get this upstairs control, but Space Station have wasted quite enough time right now. But we're still seeing, oh no, Charla gonna get wallbang there as he doesn't want to move through. Prompted, he's gonna take him down, but his teammate was there to take him down. Anyway, Rampy's just gonna fall off entirely. right into the basement to try and rotate somewhere else. But Prompted doing a great job on the Ashe entry so far.
Yeah, doing whatever he needs to do to at least give his team the early advantage that they might want. So far, it hasn't worked out at the end yet. Let's hope for Prompted that it will right now. As Sledge is now opening up these vertical angles, we will see Thinking Nate having to be careful about his position and try and, well, grab a different angle right there. As he actually is putting out the Sledge right there. C4 is going to get popped. It will not deal damage and actually kill Benji. Grenade won't go through either. That was quite an interesting strategy to see right there. It's going to be Dave to open up on Rampy, and right now we are 3 against 5 in favor of Honor amongst Thieves. Still, though, we have 3 gas canisters left, so Bosco has the opportunity to try and stall us out as long as possible again. But we are in a 2-on-5 situation right now as we speak. Brian is also going to be falling. It's going to be Bosco with 1 in return, but eventually it's going to be too much. He's going to get taken down by Benji, and that means they will have their first round on the board, turning it into a 1-on-2.
Yeah, so we will have a rehost, just some audio issues coming through for Spacestation there, but we will have a quick rehearse, hopefully be able to get into the game as quickly as possible. It's Bosco who was having the audio issues, which is impressive given the fact that he did actually clutch 2 rounds in a row.
Indeed, like, he didn't hear anything, or maybe he heard something, but still managed to clutch out 2 rounds. Impressive, indeed. So,
Impressionante, as some of the lifetime casters might point out. So, just talking about those rounds already, we see that Hat only took 1 round on the board so far, but all 3 rounds were insanely close. Well, actually, no. The 3rd round was not close at all.
No, that wasn't
close.
close.
So much control. They had the vertical play with the Sledge. They almost got a great Sledge. I mean, you saw that where he put the nade down on the floor, and then he sledged the floor so the nade could fall down quicker and kind of catch anyone off guard. Could have been a good strategy if it had worked out.
I've actually seen it before.
It has happened a couple times. I want to say Achieve. I don't think Achieve came up with that, but I've seen Achieve do it before with the book instead. But yeah, it's happened a few times before. That's nothing new, but it is interesting to see it happen. I think it can be very effective because as soon as someone starts sledging above you, your immediate thought is, I got to move.
Like, I got to move, or I'm going to be contesting it. And if you want to contest it, it's too late because the grenade will explode in your face. So, indeed. Like, it would have been fun to see it actually work out. We might actually see it work in the next 2 rounds that they have on the attack. They might be able to set something up right there. So, what has stood out to me is that Spacestation took out 2 rounds on the back of Bosco.
Yeah.
But then he was being put into a clutch position twice, whereas that is not something that you would expect if they are the stronger team between brackets on Villa.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you win the round as a team, right?
Yeah.
We can't put everything on Bosco because things happen throughout the round that allow Bosco to clutch out in those situations, to allow him to put himself in that. And of course, the teammates are there for the calls as well. But you can't, despite the fact that Hat are at a big disadvantage here going into Villa, that they're still keeping up.
Yeah.
Which I think is surprising.
That is indeed good. Like they actually wanted to ban the map instead of picking it, so there's a big disadvantage for it.
Maybe
like,
that was all.
Oh, maybe it was just a mind game.
Mind games. There's like 200 IQ players. It's like, oh yeah, guys. Oh, we didn't even know what the map bans were. We don't want to go to Villa, and secretly they actually have all these
these crazy strategies, and they actually will be managing to win Villa at the end, possibly. Maybe we will have to see and wait before that result comes out. 2-1 current scoreline is not actually representative of the actual match.
Yeah, I'd say that. I also say you wouldn't be really upset with that either.
No, definitely not.
The issue I do see here coming through is that because we only go to 5 rounds on each side, is that we won't see another kitchen defense.
Indeed, yeah.
So now we'll go back to Aviator. We'll probably go back to Trophy or Space Station, win that, to be the hardest sites to attack. So this is going to make Villa even more defender-sided, the fact that you can't gain those rounds.
Indeed.
So, yeah. I guess we'll see how it does actually work out in the long run, because they actually might decide to go back to Kitchen. I think it's unlikely they will, but they
probably won't.
Do have it open.
Like Aviator Games, it was a 2-on-4 situation or something in favor of that, which they actually managed to win. Now, that didn't look good. So maybe if Hat is going to be able to change some things up, like not make those micro mistakes which allow Bosco to come through, they will be able to just pick up the next round as well.
I think one of the big mistakes that they made that actually turned into an early frag for them in the end is that they went straight for the vault wall, not realizing that maybe it would have been bandit tricked or impact trick or something like that. I mean, they put the first Urbana charge down, probably expecting an impact trick over
a bandit trick.
Over a bandit trick. The bandit trick happens, but I feel like, you know, if that's going to happen, either way, you should be nading the 90 wall anyway.
Yeah, indeed. Well, let's see if they will be implementing these small changes right here. As we are waiting until we can go back into the game. On the other side, now we have Accelerate versus, what was it, Proximity? Proximity, indeed. Now, everybody would be expecting Accelerate to win that one, right?
Yeah, I mean, also what I said is that Accelerate beat Spacestation in the Swiss qualifier.
Yeah.
Don't forget, we had two sides of this. We had day one where we ran a Swiss, where it wasn't important that you won every single round. You just had to win at least 4 games to get into this day's bracket of the top 32 teams. So, you know, Spacestation did that, but they did lose one of those games. And Accelerate have also just knocked out Reciprocity. So they just might be having the games of their lives right now, doing very, very well for themselves. And yeah, maybe we will see. I think we will probably see Accelerate in the finals, despite the fact that Proximity do have Kilo. I'm not really familiar with the rest of the team. I mean, to make it this far, they've done well. This is going to be the big challenge for them to try and cause the upset.
If they're going to be able to take down Accelerate, they might as well be able to take down Spacestation or amongst these after as well. So,
well, you know, I think out of all 4 teams to cause, you know, a big upset here is that Honor Among Thieves are, as I said, they kind of have the experience, and we've already seen the experience that they do have coming into fruition. I mean, keeping up with a team like Spacestation here is no small feat, and I wouldn't really consider Honor Among Thieves a tier 3 team.
No, it's something in between, right? Now, we all say there's no such thing as tier 2.5, but if we have to give them a tier,
that's just a whole
it's going to be tier 2.5, right? All right, well, Honor Amongst Thieves, well, if I just look at these first 3 rounds, I actually think and I can actually believe that they will be taking Villa as well on border. As you said, it could be going their way.
Yeah, I mean, I think Spacestation in the end are most likely going to take Villa, mostly because Villa tends to be more about the attacks than it is about the defenses. And
like you need to get your defensive rounds, but
like have kept up on the defense, on the attack. Sorry, Kitchen might be the only round that they actually end up taking. So to go into the other side with only 1 round on your board, and then all Spacestation need to do is like take those 2 rounds during their side. I think in the kind of format, Spacestation are pretty good at attacking Villa. And they proved that in the past as well. But yeah, you can see the bracket there. It's going to be Honor Among Thieves versus Spacestation Gaming here. But on the other side of the bracket, we are having Accelerate versus Proximity playing at the same time, so that when we get in, once we've done this game, we can start on schedule. And there will be no kind of delays going through to get into the finals.
And of course,
it seems, you know, anyone who's looking at this is going, okay, it's going to be Spacestation versus Accelerate. But we've already seen that Hat can cause upsets.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be a good teller for Hat. Like, they probably won't take Villa. But then you see how well they're doing on Villa and how they're still keeping up. And you're thinking to yourself, okay, now we're going to Border. Now we're going to Consulate. These are maps that Hat can take.
Indeed. Like, and of course, Villa hasn't been given out yet, of course. Like, they came close twice on bomb sites, which are supposed to be easily defended. Or at least the most easy to be defended. And that is something to keep into account. Now, don't forget, Honor Amongst Thieves, first in the United States Nationals, but that was the Eastern Qualifier number 2, I believe. They do definitely have what it takes to beat up a team like this, right? It's just that they need to have their good game. Spacestation, hopefully, for them having a bit of an off day, and if that is going to be the case, then they could potentially cause the upset right here and also take Villa.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think the entire series is going to come down to Villa.
No.
I think it's going to come down to Border. If Hat can take Border, then they can cause a massive upset here. As I said, I don't think they're going to take Villa. But, as I said, they've proven that they can keep up, right?
True.
If
it's not like massive losses that they get clean swept off the board, right? They actually managed to bring it to a 1-on-1 or 1-on-2 situation, which shows that they have the opportunity to win it. It's just that they're just coming too short.
Yeah, definitely. A 3-2 scoreline would not be bad at all for Hat here. And they definitely have the potential to do that. But if they can't take that, then it's just all over. I don't see them winning the rest of the map.
All right. Well, that is something that we are going to be looking for then. We're going to be trying to see if Hack can get at least one more round in on the attack, as that is what I believe you were saying right
yes.
there. Yeah, 3-on-2. If they manage to get the next 2 rounds, what do you think? Are they just going to definitely take Villa?
I think it's just going to be a fight at that point. It's going to be probably maybe like OT. We'll see something like that. Don't forget, we do have a regular overtime. Yeah. It is 3 rounds OT.
So it's coin flip, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it can be. It can also be the fact that, okay, we just played 5 rounds in attack. We know how to attack now. We know. And also at OT, you know how the other team's going to play these defenses. So it's not going to be as attacker-sided, as defender-sided as you get into OT. In fact, you see some maps they go defense the entire time. I mean, CCS finals, we had Organized Chaos versus my old team, Altis Police Department. They went 11 rounds in a row, pure defense-sided on Villa. Then you go to OT, and you get 2 attack wins.
Okay, well, strange things right here as we
no. They had 1 attack win and then 1 defense win. But we had 1 attack win in round 12, so...
All right.
You know, it could just be one of those games where it just goes defense, defense, defense. Okay, now we know what's going on. Now we're going to bring it back.
Yeah, all right. Of course, we are still waiting before the technical issues involving Bosco have been fixed. So that is what we are waiting for, of course, hoping that he can fix it in time. Otherwise, we will have to see what happens. Now, let us just look at the teams that have already qualified, of course, or have been invited to the minor eventually. We have right now 6 North American teams. 92 Dream Team, Dark Zero, Rise, Disrupt, Rogue, and Sonics. So
playing for that big prize pool of $75,000, but that's not all. I feel like the big prize here is not the money. It's the spot for the major. The winner of the minor will qualify for the US major in really North Carolina. So, you know, they'll have a lot to do with that. But we're going to get into our game here. It's going to be Villa. It's going to be Spacestation versus Hat. It's going to be round number 4. We're going to get into it.
Indeed. Now, let us see if this is going to be, let's say, advantageous for the sides of Hat, as they have had a little bit of a timeout right here. Or if Spacestation Gaming can actually get their stuff together right now and seem a little bit more convincing on the defense. Because right now it has been shaking a lot. Aviator Games is going to be the bomb site that we are returning to, as they have lost on Dining Kitchen, and thus this is the only other viable bomb site that they could be going to.
Yeah, Aviator Games is just a very tried and tested site. The Valkyrie's going to come out again from Rampy, so they are going to be running the same roster they did the last time they defended her.
Oh, IQ's going to get picked off.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
That's not good at all. I think it makes sense for him to 6th pick onto the Zofia if they see they're going to be trying to run a clash strategy around 90 to try and hold it down. But then the 6th pick comes through. Now there's
actually mind game right there by Spacestation.
Yeah, really well done on the 6th pick.
Now, probably won't fall for that twice, as right now we are going to be seeing the defensive setup unfold. Just reinforce all the walls into the actual office area right there, steady. It's going to be nothing out of the ordinary, it looks like. Normal rotation holes. I haven't seen any vertical holes being created as of yet, of course. It's not always necessary on this map. Even though there's no bug being brought either, so like the damage that could be done vertically is either going to be the Ash or the Sophia with the impact hits.
I mean, you say that, but Sledge can also do quite a lot of damage there with just nade power.
True.
And could just nade out people from below, even with a combination of Zofia or Ash. So yeah, but you are right. Like if there was vertical play here, it's still going to be that dangerous coming out from Space Station. But Rampy's going to go all the way below yet again, waiting on that late game C4. But again, we're going to see Hat with a very, very aggressive take, just going straight through into the bedroom, taking over control of Statutory and Trophy, and just getting over those controls. instantly. Spacestation, again, choosing not really to contest this area, but Prompted getting all the way into trophy entrance and trying immediately to contest 90. They're trying to get control of 90, but Brian is going to be there to stop them. But Rampy quickly on the move to get onto those main stairs.
Now, I was going to say they have at least a player inside of 90 right there, but he will be rotating out as well, right as the pressure is actually arriving. Going to be losing his... Oh, actually, his evil eye will be staying alive. He'll most likely get actually shut out right now. That's waste. Could have made sure that he had to use one impact grenade or a breaching round right there, so lack of utilizing that equipment right there.
Well, I mean, they have a sledge, so the sledgehammer.
That's true. There's sledgehammer.
I feel like
as well.
You know, Brian, he's realized that it's over. There's no way they're going to do anything. He might as well try and get some damage in while he can. But there we go. The nade coming out from Benji yet again on Charlo, unable to ban it trick onto 90, and he will go down for it. As Dave will start to open up. That bandit trick just hasn't worked for them at all. It's way too vulnerable. Maybe
want to use a Kate or something as you can go on a little bit of a distance. As right now the opening frag once again goes in favor of Honor amongst Thieves. Now Tinker Nate has to be careful because he's going to get pincered anytime soon. Because one is coming on the other side of that hallway right here. He's eventually going to get the frag. Actually his goo mine. Well, Brian picks up one as well before being traded out. Bosco losing his life as well. 3-on-2 situation in favor of Honor amongst Thieves right here. As Prompter actually goes aggressive. We'll be picking up one more. It's all up to Rampy now. He has no C4 in his hand. Has to go all on gun skill right here. We'll be picking up one. Rotates all the way around. But there's no way he can get back in time. And Flak will be planting that diffuser as a result of that.
Yeah, flashes are going to come out from Prompted. As there we go, Rampy going to try and get wave 3. Can he see it's Prompted and takes him down with a headshot? Great shot from Rampy. It's all down to Flak to just hold on to the diffuser. It is slowly ticking away and doing its work.
Oh,
Rampy knows he's behind the desk. He sees it, likes it, he takes him down. Rampy with a 1v2 clutch will bring it in for Spacestation. And they will take the game through.
That was a 1-on-3 clutch, Chief.
Yeah, it was very, very well played by Rampy to bring that in. And that is just the round that Hat needed.
Oh yeah, definitely right here. Now we saw Rampy rotating through there. That's why Flak actually thought he was going to be coming through the fall. And Rampy just at the last moment just faking that out, going through the actual rotation hole and getting him off guard right there. And that means they have that third round right now. There's one more opportunity for Hat to pick up that, you know, that one thing. All right, last round of site swap. We are going to trophy stat tree. Let's see how that will work out this time.
Yeah, we will see how it's going to go down. I mean, last time, again, it was a clutch from Bosco on the smoke. It was very, very, very last second, though. There was some pretty good coordination coming out from Hat to try and deal with Thinking Nade. It was just a little bit over-aggressive, where they had the nade in place to down and eventually kill him. But Billboard, was it Billboard?
Not sure.
I think it might have been Prompted, who peaked at the wrong time, and it just didn't end very, very well for them. But it was almost good.
Yeah.
They did bring it into that 1v1, but eventually Bosco just didn't let him have it. Hat need this round to stay in the game. If they can't win this round, I do not see them taking the map.
No, neither do I. Like they need to get this one, otherwise they can afford almost 0 mistakes right there. So Space Station, they're still looking clunky on their defenses, considering they're constantly being put into clutch situations. But like as soon as they're being put in these clutch situations, it's like Honor amongst Thieves just freezes or something, because somehow they pull it off. Like time and time again. It's 3 times now that they've done it out of the 4 times they've been put in a clutch situation.
Yeah, no, they definitely have. I think Hat have really been setting the pace here. They've been very, very aggressive, trying to get quick control of where they can and trying to get any kills. When they see someone, they drone someone, right, okay, go kill him. And that's exactly what they've been doing with things. And there we go, it just happens like that. Prompted just gets in, takes down Charlo, but instantly traded out there by Thinking Nade onto Benji. They're still holding down where they can. I think Nade getting aggressive with it where he can, as well as Rampy just holding down to Hunting Vault and seeing what he can do here. But he still has that control. He still has Thinking Nade backing him up as well. And Brian should also be holding some sort of angle here as well. No, he's on to 90. He was peeking this door last time, and he got a kill from doing that as well. But Rampy doesn't need the help. He takes down Flag and retreats back down to that nuke-proof desk that we were talking about. But Billboard with the double kill comes in. He takes down Nade. He takes down Brian. We'll now see a 3v2 situation developing into the favor of Honor Among Thieves. And let's see if they can capitalize on it. Drones coming out, and look at the time map.
Indeed, there's just plenty of time left right here for Honor Among Thieves to work with. 3 gas canisters are going to be left on Bosco. That's going to be enough to stall for 45 more seconds. So Rampy has to play his best game right here, pick up 1 or 2 frags, but he's going to be losing his life instead. Dave, in the meantime, will be planting that diffusers. Bosco tries to go aggressive, picks up the first frag to start things off with, knows that the second one is going to be located in this position, hopes that he's just going to be removing and reversing back into him.
Yeah, Bosco holding down. He does have 2 remote gas grenades and 2 impacts as well. He's going to start using that utility as well to push them. Oh, and he sees him! There goes Dave with a headshot. It's going to be all down to Prompted on a sliver of HP. Another gas canister coming out. Prompted can just not push through that at all.
No.
He's got to rotate the other way around. He should be able to see Bosco in time, but he's going to have to make a very close guess. Oh, he's out of time! And Space Station will take round number 5. Bosco again with the clutch. Will bring it in for his team, and what a disaster, but a 1v3 clutch from Bosco has managed to bring it in for Space Station, and that is the round that Hat so desperately needed. They will not be able to have it.
4
it's
clutches.
It's going to be an uphill battle for them to try and bring this in now, but they are on the defense now.
Yeah, but it's 4 clutches from Space Station out of the 5 times they have been put into a clutch situation. Now, you can say about that whatever you want, but that's definitely requiring some amount of skill.
3 of them by Bosco.
3 of them by Bosco as well, just showing why he's, well, as you said, the one man that is going to be able to make that clutch happen.
Doing very well for himself.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But we are going to go to an aviator room and a games room defense now. Coming out from Honor Among Thieves. Don't forget, this is a slightly different format than we normally have in Pro League at the moment. It is 10 rounds, not 12 rounds. But I think some people are forgetting that it wasn't so long ago that this was the Pro League format.
Yeah, indeed. Like, it's just the season right now that it has been turned up to 12 rounds. So we're just using the old Pro League format, right?
Yeah, just think of it as season. We're back in season 8, guys.
We're back in season 8 for the minor, due to time constraints.
So, getting into round number 6, you're going to be the first defense coming out from Honor Among Thieves. We haven't seen any Jackal yet, which I guess kind of confused me at the start. From Hat's kind of roster. Yeah,
but if you look at how aggressive they are, then a Jackal would just be too slow.
I agree. I still think it would be a good play, just considering that every time that it was an aviator defense for Space Station, they always had Rampy on this really deep roam. So I think Jackal still would have been a good play. And Jackal generally is really good, and it's also kind of why would it be completely against the pulse ban coming out.
Indeed. Oh well, we might actually see a Jackal pickup on the side of Space Station. Oh, it actually did. Let's see if it will be working out and he can actually get some frags down. As he's just holding off that angle right now. I actually never see.
He's perched on the wall. Right, that's stable. Doing very, very well for himself, and he can just pick up anyone who's rotating out of 90 there, but he's going to have to rely on his team to actually force him to do that rotate. Brian will see the Valkyrie camera right there in the top of study and see what he can do about all of that, as he will be holding down into 90 and see what he can do.
Benji just holding off on his window right there, hoping that someone is going to be peeking him. And right now we're just kind of in a stall game. Everybody just staring at each other indirectly, waiting for someone to get the first frag.
Yeah, but Space Station are being very, very slow about this, being methodical, and they know exactly how they want to take this Villa attack. They're not being as aggressive as Hatter, but they have a much better idea about how to win the round. And Honor Among Thieves, they never won an aviator attack. They only ever won the kitchen attack. And even though they got very, very, very close a couple times, it was smoke and no cigar for them.
Yeah. Oh, as Brian says, a real big hole coming right up right there, and that means up to the bar has been opened up. That creates a line of sight, which makes the bar area less viable to play against. Claymore kill onto Flak. That's not how you want to see the first frag to happen, but there's definitely going to be one roamer out of the question on the sides of Space Station. One roamer they don't have to worry about, as these gas canisters are going to get deployed right there just to deny anybody on the other side of that wall.
Yeah, Thatchers are going to go down, so they're starting to push into the study area. Bosco trying to find this gunfight against Billboard, but he won't let him have it just yet. They still have quite a lot of control of the site, and we are starting to take down on that clock, but Rampy picks up Billboard. That's the Valkyrie off the table. That's a Nitro off the table. It's the only Nitro remaining off the table, but Benji goes for the wide peek out. He does take around Rampy, and that does bring us into a 4v3. So Hat's still holding on, but they're starting to lose control. Prompted goes down to Bosco. see Dave and Benji is the last one to try and hold down where they can. Dave going for the pre-fires where they can as well. But everyone just runs in from the side. Bosco gets that entry. It's now all down to Benji, but through the smoke, Chala will shut him down. Benji goes out of it, and Spacestation will take their very first attack.
Yeah, round number 5 right now has been won. Well, round number 6, but round 5 has been won by Spacestation. That means they have, I believe, one more round. And if they win that, they take Villa with a 6-1 fashion. And it's going to be up to Hat to show that they actually have what it takes to be on the defensive side right here. As, well, they don't have many opportunities left if they play like they did just a second ago.
No, they don't. They really need to win those rounds on Aviator, and they will go back there again and try and clean up a little bit of things that they did wrong. So now they know how Spacestation are going to attack this, that they're all going to just back up outside of study, and they're just going to push through with a minute left go on the clock. They're going to make sure they have everything in place that they need it. They're going to claymore the top of the main stairs, and they're just going to take it slowly like they do, but then they're going to turn on. So yeah, now Hat should have a good idea about how Spacestation want to do this.
Indeed.
They could now change around that kind of strategy.
Yeah, now how would you do so? Because my brain is just saying aggression right now.
For me, it's all about who plays behind bar and what.
Okay, yeah. Like the fact is that they will be opening up the wall right next to the bar, so the player behind bar is going to have a rough time.
It's going to be a rough time, but it can be helped if they hold on to 90. And now what Spacestation were doing there is they put the Jackal onto 90, they tracked the guy, and then they pushed him. They got control of 90, they either pushed him out of 90, or they kill him if he doesn't get out of there. So it's going to be all about holding down that area, and also, you know, how the guy behind bar is going to be playing it and how aggressive he's going to be playing it. But, you know, in order for him to do anything, his teammates need to be near him.
Indeed.
With the Capital ban, it does make it a lot easier for Hat to actually just hold on. And I think Spacestation, you know, they don't have any frag grenades, so they don't really have any killing power to take people out of
they need
positions.
to actually physically go in there to make it happen, or, well, maybe Sofia could come in from below, use that impact grenade and follow with the gunfire. But that we rarely ever see that, so we will most likely see a lot of horizontal play to come into use right here from both these teams. As Chala is just hoping to spot someone right there, but instantly decides to rotate off.
I think he was just looking for the rotate, but they do have a drone. They are going to be aware that there is a dock still holding down to 90, and their objective really is to either force him out of here or to put him down in the ground. I can assume there's probably a Maestro cam at 90 as well for him to play off, and Chala getting very, very, very close. He's inches away from getting this kill right now. But Benji's still holding down. He just got to know there's someone at least outside that window, but it's going to be Billboard with the Nitro, picks up the first kill of the round there. Goes Brian, that's the thermite off the board. That's a huge pick coming out from Hat. That may have just won them the round. Yeah,
definitely so. That thermite, we saw how crucial it was last time, opening up behind the bar, just making that position unplayable right there. Taking him down before he does even any damage is definitely going to be quite impressive. Benji picks up Chala right there, and that turns it into a 5-on-3 situation. Pretty good stuff right here coming down from Honor Amongst Thieves, as they are 2 men up right now on this first map on the 7th round. EP coming down right there, hoping to deny anything, but there's a little rotational right here. Prompted is going to be aware of that as well, of course. This is his own rotational. Billboard picks up Bosco and has to be careful that he won't just step up right there. Shoot him with that shotgun. It's actually going to be Billboard to take down Tiggy Nate and Rampy now on the other side of the map, trying to cut in. Somehow catches off Flack right there. Flack didn't actually spot Rampy going in. Now, I would have assumed that would have gone the other way, but little less is true.
Well, Rampy does have that black eye skin, so things should start to go into his favor now. As he pushes all the way onto the door of Aviator, but he can't quite find the kills, can't quite find the shots. They know where he is. They've got a Maestro cam on him all the times. He's probably going to get flanked at some point, going for those desperate pre-fires. He's only got 30 seconds left to go on the clock to work with. He does get flanked by Benji, who's still holding down to 19. Hat will take their very first defense on Aviator Games. Now, all they need to do is take the next 3 rounds in a row.
Yeah, easy, right? Win Statue and then win Kitchen or Library, whichever one you prefer. But still, again, Flack, how did you not see him right there? Can't tell me you're that slow.
Hat just had 2 insanely big picks instantly. They took down the Jackal,
And the Thermite.
And the Thermite. So
Thermite
Brian
was
going
the
down,
biggest, most
Chala
likely.
going down instantly. Those are huge picks here on Villa. That's really going to affect your defenses. But moving through now into match point, of course. Spacestation still aiming for that, but 3 rounds are going to be that hill climb that Hat need to try and bring this into overtime. We'll see how that does go down. So they'll go for a trophy statutory defense. We talked a little bit about this before. This did actually come very, very, very close. It was a 1v1, and then we also saw a situation where it was 1 and 3. Yeah. So it's actually very, very possible to attack this site. We almost saw attackers win this twice now. We'll see how Spacestation do.
Yeah, can Spacestation do better than Honor Amongst Thieves on this one? Well, so far they have won Aviator games with the attack, something that Honor Amongst Thieves wasn't able to do. So they could potentially do this one as well, of course. It will depend on how they will attack. Now, something that I see often, which I saw often, at least in the Challenge League and Benelux, is people going from Astronomy. Basically on every single successful attack, so to say, as a trophy statutory, is started with the control of Astronomy.
Yeah, no, I would argue that as well. But also just like looking at how both of these teams have decided to play this with that very, very heavy roam game going through into games as well.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to hold on to because it just reinforces 2 walls and it becomes so much harder to attack this area completely. So there's so many hard walls here. There's so many areas like behind the bar as well. It's so hard for you to get a grip here. And have a great opportunity to waste a lot of time. Spacestation did the same thing during their defenses as well, so it's nothing too special. But this is really the kind of crux of the site, and how slow Spacestation would be moving through their rounds before. Like, they move slow for a reason.
Indeed.
But it could affect them if they, don't. They've got a timetable of things they need to clear. If they don't reach that timetable, it's not going to work out for them.
Yeah, they're going to be in trouble right there, so they need to stay on schedule, so to say. Sticky Nate right here will be spotting someone on his drone. Actually goes off at the exact moment as Billboard peeks in. That is something quite unlucky right there. Meaning that they will, well, potentially throw away a frag right there. Gonna see the vertical play coming down here from Chala. Actually not spotting out the player, which is right above him. And here we see Spacestation just missing out on 2 opportunities barely. As Billboard went all the way back to the basement to go in for his roam game.
And we saw Rampant doing this exact same thing as well. He was doing that on Spacestation's defenses, but Spacestation have Jackal. And this is kind of what we were saying about how going for this heavy roam at Villa, it can be very, very effective and just being in this downstairs area. Because it's very, very hard for you to try and clear someone out of here and not waste a huge amount of time doing it. But with the Jackal in play, it makes it much, much easier for you to do this. But Billboard is trying to push his way through onto red and see what he can do, but Chala's waiting to cut him off here on the Astro stairs. I think Billboard's kind of aware that he is being hunted down at the moment. As we go, Habana charges are going to go out. There is no impact nades available, but thinking nade. Talking about nades. And it's going to take down Prompted. Easy as that.
You should have known that. You should have known that that window was going to be open, and right now Rampy opens up on Benji as well. And it looks indeed like Astronomy is being taken, as Bosco will be taking down Dave as well. 2-on-5 situation on like suddenly right here in favor of Spacestation Gaming. It's going to be all up to Flak and Billboard right now. Billboard picks up 1 before being traded out, and it's going to be in a 1-on-4 for Flak right now. Like, we have seen a lot of clutches, but I don't think this is going to be one. Will do quite some damage. In the meantime, Brian is defusing the bomb, but it's too late. Spacestation have got it. They picked up the next round, and with that, the first map, Villa. Now, of course, Villa was supposed to be a ban for Honor Amongst Thieves. They actually somehow ended up picking it. And that's just throwing away 1 point right there.
It's unfortunate, but talking about Border and talking about Consulate as well, which are our next 2 maps, if we do get to Consulate, it's I still think that Hat could pull a big upset here. I hope that they I don't think this is going to affect the morale that much. I mean, most teams at this level don't really get affected by that kind of thing, so it can't be really that bad for them. But they go, oh, we didn't mean to play Villa anyway. It's fine. We're moving on. Border's our map. Border's a good map for us. Consulate's a good map for us. I think it's a good map for them, honestly. Yeah. I think that both of these maps can really go either way. And talking about how Hat were keeping up during their attacks, but their defenses suffered quite a lot.
They definitely have a good opportunity.
I think they were very over-aggressive during their defenses, honestly.
Yeah, and Spacestation well, working into that perfectly fine, reading out where they are playing, and especially like if you saw that rotate, which was the first opening kill on the Spacestation side last round, like they should have been aware that the window was open and someone was actually repelling on that. If you know that, you're not going to be rotating through like they did. And with that, they lost one. Then one came up Astronomy Stairs, picks up another frag, and at that moment, you already know it's probably going to be game over because they took Astronomy control. With that, you have, well, not complete control, but you have an indirect control to the actual site. So with that, I believe had lost the game as soon as that rotate came through. Indeed, as you said, being too aggressive or cautionless maybe is a better word.
I mean, also just to add in as well is that maybe some people are saying that Von is missing from this roster.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be playing, but he's dealing with Mother's Day things. Of course, it is Mother's Day in most parts of the world.
Yeah,
today.
Except for
we'll
Britain.
save that. Not in Britain.
All right. Yeah.
So Dave has stepped in, and interesting point about Dave is that he did actually used to play with Spacestation a very, very, very long time ago. But he did used to play on this roster when they were Spacestation as well. Just after they were most wanted. Yeah. So yeah, like he should be aware of the team. Obviously, it was a little bit of a different roster back then. It was back when, they had a different roster back then. We will go too much into all of that because it's like a whole other conversation.
Too much history.
But yeah, like Dave should be very familiar with this team. He should be familiar with these players and how they play. But he should also just be familiar with having that kind of experience. He's got two of the very experienced players on his team. He's got Billboard and he's got Benji there as well to help him out.
Yeah.
And we've seen Prompted as well, has done some pretty good work on the
Yeah, definitely. So maybe you can actually keep that up on Border. Might be more effective right there for the rest of his team. As right now, just Bosco being allowed to constantly clutch is not something that they would like to look back on. Now, I think that's maybe a little bit less the case on Border, as that is a well-established map, of course. Maybe they can actually pull away right there and get away with these small micro mistakes and still get the round.
Yeah, definitely. So, moving kind of further through this, let's talk about Border a bit.
Yeah.
Border as a map, we talked about how it's a very well-designed map. It tends to be pretty 50-50 in terms of attack and defense. That's the kind of weird thing about having 10 rounds, is that it can't be 50-50. Someone has to come out of that first half with an advantage.
True. So now I think that's personally going to be the defenders most of the time. Armory lockers, you're going to be defending that twice, so that's 2 points basically almost guaranteed. Now customs is very viable. You have the bathroom being played more and more. You could also choose that first to throw your opponent off guard, and then you have the ventilation workshop, which is basically just like the top floor, but then an extra level added to it. So it's a bit more it's a bit different to take, as you will have to take top floor control first, but it's not going to be as many reinforcements, and then you have to go downstairs. And something that you often see is people losing track of time when they're attacking ventilation workshop because they're too invested in getting the top floor control cleared out.
Well, I mean, it does bring up an interesting point about Border, is that it tends to be pretty kind of vertical play orientated. I mean, no matter where you're attacking, a lot of it tends to orientate around Armory Lockers control.
Yeah, true.
Pretty much for every single site, except potentially if you're attacking bathroom tellers. But even then, you
still need offices, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you will come through archives.
Not that far away. So we are going to get back into the game. We are going to be going to Border in just a couple of seconds here. It is going to be Spacestation Gaming with a 1-0 lead so far in the series. It is a best of 3. This is the semi-final, and you got to look at that transition as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let us get into Border. Of course, we are playing bomb, as you can see, due to the beautiful bomb being present in our studio. First banning phase coming in. Hat will decide the first offensive ban will be directly handicapping the sides of Spacestation Gaming, as we have swap sides right now for the start. What do you think it's going to be?
What, you want me to predict a ban?
I want you to predict the ban.
I think the Capital ban, again, from Hat, probably. I think makes a lot of sense. Capital is not really like a strict ban to Border. It seems like Hat have a good idea about how they want to play against Spacestation here. And Capital has had a pretty big buff, so we are going to see the Capital ban come out from Hat again. From SSG, though, we might not see the Maverick. I think we might see a hard breacher, like a thermite ban coming out.
I was thinking as well, maybe a thermite or a actual Hibana coming out right here. That could be quite interesting because it will be changing the entire strategy that both these teams will most likely use to get into the bomb sites.
Well, Spacestation have a good, long, hard think about that one, and they will eventually choose
Nomad.
The Nomad.
Right.
That also makes a lot of sense. We did see a Nomad ban earlier as well in EU. So
she's a pretty strong operator.
She is a very, very strong operator. I think it's very useful for a map like Border where you can have like a lot of map run out potential.
Dice wall.
If you want to play like that on the defense, it is going to benefit you. We've already seen Spacestation lose Valkyrie quite effectively, and we are going to see the mirror ban come out yet again from Hat. That's going to leave things, down to Spacestation, as we are seeing Echo banned out by Hat. So same bans, different order, but we are going to see the Nomad as the separate, just tiny, slight change from SSG's strategy going through.
Now, looking at Nomad, of course, like looking at the map of Border, there's only 2 staircases back up, and that could potentially work into that as well. Like if you make sure that East stairs is not allowed to get people back up, then they will be coming through the main staircase. You could potentially set something up right there. Of course, normally claymores are going to be set down on the East stairs, but then Airjib can actually possibly catch them off guard easier because you don't have the visual representation of actually the claymore being there.
So we are going to see an Armory Lockers and Archives defense coming out here from Honor Among Thieves and see what they want to do with that. Flack is going to 6-pick from the Mute onto the Legion. I'm wondering why he chose to do that. Maybe because of the IQ?
Possibly, yeah. Like, as you said, vertical play is pretty important right here. You can easily take it down, every single Mute Gemmer from below, so... then again, Goose will also get spotted out, so...
Yeah, but you have more of them.
You have more of these Goose, then you will have Mute Gemmers.
And you don't have an IQ who's running around looking at staircases and on the floor all the time. But Mute Gemmers are quite easy to get through that vertical play. It also kind of says to me that Hat probably don't want to play the vertical play downstairs either. But they are going to be using the Valkyrie, so maybe we'll see aggressive strategy from their defense. I mean, we saw how aggressive they could be on Villa.
Yeah, indeed. All you have to do is wait and see how this strategy will unfold. See if there's anything out of the ordinary right here. So far, that is not the case. I'm going to be interested to see whether or not they will have some CCTV presence at all.
So no Doc, no Yoga play coming out of this round, coming out from Hat. I think Spacestation are going to utilize Doc quite effectively during their rounds. Well, I mean, maybe not effectively, but I think they're definitely going to use it. The other operator I think we're going to see pretty much every single round is Valkyrie. She's pretty effective on this map, even when IQ is still on the board. It can be very, very interesting. We're going to see pretty aggressive rounds, I think, from Hat to try and keep control. And you can already see Prompted is getting ready for just that. I'll be actually amazed if he decides to jump out this AC window.
I hope he at least does it with the SMG-11, and as Billboard gets the entry frag, it's going to be Tinking Nade gone off the board. As the Thatcher as well. Now, due to their the lack of a presence of a Bandit Orchid, and also the Mute going to get swapped out, Brian won't have any direct negative influence because of the Thatcher getting taken down. So, at least it will still be opening up the walls that they want to open up. It's only going to be a bit harder taking down these Evil Eyes, for example, or the Goo Mines. And that is something that they will have to keep in mind.
Yeah, so Dave going to be using his Maestro Cam effectively. No, it gets sniped out. And he will go down. That is a lot of utility off the board there. Just one simple thing. But the Thatcher's dead, so it could have been good. But Rampy with a nade is going to take Billboard down and off the board. An AC unit is going to be able to be claimable, but Brian getting a little bit too aggressive there on Armory Lockers is going to get down just outside of the box wall, but Dave in a very precarious position is going to retreat down onto Africa as Prompted going to be holding down where he can. Rampy takes down Benji on the run out, and now it's a 3v4 situation. Spacestation really capitalizing on the aggressiveness coming out from Hat.
Yeah, definitely so. And right now, the actual rotation being watched as well by the window, meaning that, for example, Dave cannot cross back, and that will force Prompted to make the shotgun holes right there to at least try and contest the plant that could potentially come down. But it's going to be the down right there onto Dave. A grenade's actually popping as well. Not sure where that will land. It's landing in the little cubby. Have the re-pickup right there from Dave being reset to 20 HP, but it wasn't for long. It's going to be challenged to take him down. And it's a 2-on-4 situation now in favor of Spacestation, who are looking to get their first round straight away on the attack on the board.
Well, smoke nades are going to start to come through from Prompted to see what he can do here. Still holding down the rotates. Charlo does pick up Prompted. Bosco still down, holding down to lock sandwich, but it's going to be Rampy who finishes things off. Takes down Flak with a headshot, and Spacestation will take the very first round here on Border's attack. That's not good.
No, that's not good for Hat. Definitely not. Because they're going to be in need of those defensive rounds. And Spacestation just picking that first one up relatively clean as well. They only lost one member, Thinking Nate, from, well, somewhat of an aggressive play early on. Is definitely going to be hurting them, and they will have to change things up if they want to stay in this match right now. They need to get the defensive round in at least 3. I would say.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. But we're going to go to an RA Lockers and Archives defense coming through now, as we'll see exactly how it's all going to work out for Honor Among Thieves. They're going to go back to Armory Lockers.
Yeah.
What went wrong here for Hat, do you think?
I think they were a bit too confident as soon as they got that first frag. Now that grenade came in right there, opened things up. Who did he pick up right there? Was that the one on Halfall? Because that's what it looked like. Yeah. That means Halfall was going to be cleared. Allows them to move up even further. And then the person being in the sandwich window basically isolated everybody out at that point. So they had so much free reign at that moment. They had control. They had actual angles in the side and made sure that Hat wasn't allowed to move out.
It looks like the other semi-final has just finished, so hopefully we'll be able to see results for that in just a few moments, and we will keep you updated. But that was Accelerate versus Proximity, so we'll see who won that, and we'll see exactly who's going to be in the finals against them. So, but for now, we are going to see Spacestation versus Honor Among Thieves in the second round here. Spacestation are looking pretty confident here on Border, but we said if there can be any upset potential,
it's going to be Hat.
It's going to be, well, it's going to be Hat.
On Border, yeah.
On Border. This is really going to be the make it or break it part of the series. But Benji is going to pick up the first kill of the round. There goes Bosco so early on. That's our IQ off the board. It might not matter that much, but we do still have Valkyrie cameras, I believe, outside of this north side. As Billboard is going to prep the vent window and get ready to jump out. But Rampage is going to run right past it and not going to be very aware at all. Billboard is looking for the jump out. It looks like he could go for it very, very early on here. He's going to be playing his time. He still has that nitro below. Of course, no need to throw away his life so early on.
And of course, it's very tempting for him to just go for the jump out right there. He won't be doing so, and with that, he just said, save his life. Use that nitro cell for some other occasion, making sure that if his team would fall, for example, he's still going to be able to deny the plan, etc., etc. It looks like a office take is going to be coming in from Spacestation Gaming, the way they are setting up. We have one man actually holding the flank right there into CCTV, hoping, well, making sure that no can actually come from, for example, the hallways. As we still have 3 members of Hat just at the armory, just set up right there.
Yeah, definitely. But Rampy is going to make his way all the way into Fountain, see what he can do. He sees him! No! He misses the shots and he can't take him down. Looks like Brian is looking to get open the Archives wall. The nades are starting to come out. Billboard still below with a nitro, however. With his teammate a flank, it looks like Prompted has managed to make his way all the way into Archives and trying to hold that area down, and he has indeed. But it's all starting to get opened up, and this is looking like a very, very situation. And there we go, Kobe! As Rampy is going to be able to take down Prompted, easy as that, and turn it into a 4v4 situation. There's also smoke off the wall. It's a big pig.
Yeah, indeed. Now, they have to watch out because Billboard is watching from below with that C4. He's ready to toss that up right there, go in for a potential frag. Now, Rampy will know exactly what their plan is as he spots down 2 players down that hatch. And with that, they will most likely decide to try and bait out that C4, for example. Also have someone ready on the Easter's watch. It's actually going to be Rampy just going in the till right here. Spotting out the Legion player, just rotating all the way back right now, going back up to side, making sure that his life will remain safe. Rampy will just in time take down the Valkyrie right there, making sure that the C4 won't pop. And in the meantime, Brian has planted that diffuser, and we are in the after plant right now.
Now, well, Dave managed to strike back there onto Chala, take him down. and turn it into a 3v3. So they have evened up the scoreboard, but it is a post-plant situation, as you so valiantly mentioned. Rampy moving all the way onto Eastern to cover this all the way down and see what can happen. But Dave onto Fountain, he does actually manage to take down Thinking Nade, and Flack and Benji both get kills of their own, and they clutch it out. Honor Among Thieves will take their very first defense round, as they will successfully destroy the diffuser. Defuse the diffuser?
The diffuser, I've never, like,
I think
destroy it.
in-game it's called Disable the diffuser.
Yeah, which is just a fancy word for destroy the diffuser.
Disable, diffuse, destroy.
Yeah, all the same words.
These are all just words.
Oh well.
This was just a really good attack by Spacestation just to get the plant down.
Indeed.
Their post-plant situation covering, they were so spread out all across the place, and it just did not end well for them. But if that can prove anything, is that not only can Hat contend in equal gunfights with Spacestation, it's not over for them.
It's just definitely not over as of yet. Like, both teams are drawn up right now. But it is definitely going to be depending on the next few rounds, though, because if we're going to see 1 or 2 round pickups on SSG, then Hat is going to be in trouble.
So, Ventilation Room and Workshop Defense is going to be coming through from Honor Among Thieves and seeing exactly what they can do here. Ventilation Room and Workshop Defense coming through from them. This is very, very vertical. We have mentioned this before. It's kind of similar in ways to how you defend armory lockers.
Indeed, like, most of the time people are going to be present in armory lockers as well, just contesting that, like, for the entire round. Also dying trying, because the more time they waste upstairs, the more time you'll have downstairs. It speaks for itself, of course, like, very logical way of thinking. But like, every minute they spend clearing the upstairs part is a minute they cannot use to set up for an execute on the actual bomb sites.
Definitely. So, moving further through now, we are getting into round number 3, and we talk a lot about vertical play.
Yeah.
Where you can see the operators coming out for a space station to bring that in. IQ normally bringing those breach charges, and we have the Buck as well. We have the Jackal with that secondary shotgun. There's so much soft destruction available here for Space Station, and we can see exactly how that is going to come into fruition. As we're moving to round 3, we said that that Honor Among Thieves need 3 rounds of the defense to bring this in for them.
They definitely will. Getting just 2 will be just too little, considering the experience of Space Station and our current format, using 5 rounds before a roll swap. I think Space Station can definitely get the upper hand out of that one. So it will really depend on if Hat has their defenses together and actually picks up on the next few rounds.
Droning coming out very heavily in force from Space Station here, as it will open up onto the box wall and see exactly what they can do with the situation. But you said it's really all about getting the success control early on and seeing what you can do with it. They're going to start to affect that as much as they can. There's no hard reach now coming out from Honor Among Thieves right now as Bosco try and peek through the vertical play. It's going to pick up Benji behind the half wall. Beautiful pick from Bosco. As there we go, he is going to be able to destroy any ADS is coming out behind there on the half wall, and they should be able to get very, very quick control of that upstairs areas. They have opened a box. Dave is there to try and fight back, however, but most of Honor Among Thieves is actually downstairs.
And we're going to have 2 of the members. It's evenly distributed right now, as we have 2 people upstairs, 2 people downstairs, but
perfectly balanced.
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be in the universe. Just quoting some evil guy right now. I mean, we had the Avengers already coming.
That is true. We did have the Avengers in here. That is a fact. Rampy is going to be trying to open up onto supply room, get some angles onto this doorway into servers as Billboard. Trying to make his way out of the site to see what he can do to more affect this attack. Of course, he's not got any picks on the attack, but not going to get any just yet. Rampy is going to punish Billboard for his over-aggression. Shut him down easy as that. Now a 3v5 situation. Honor Among Thieves not looking too good, but what a shot from Thinking Nade. He's seen that sliver of a peak. He's going to take down David with a headshot. It's now a 2v5.
Honor Amongst Thieves absolutely getting ripped apart right here. Now the gas canister will come in, deal some damage to the likes of Chala, but Brian is just going to plant that diffuser. As prompted now wants to go aggressive, will get punished for it as well. It's going to be all up to the Legion of Flak to try and make it happen. Picks up one, wants to go for the second, but that won't happen. It's going to be Rampy to finish things off, and it's going to be 2 rounds right now for the sides of Space Station, who are looking quite strong indeed on border. Now, this means that the next 2 rounds have to be picked up by Hat if they want to have a good opportunity of fighting on this map.
Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle for sure coming out from them, but now they should have a good idea about how exactly this vent room attack is going to play out and what Space Station want to do. This kind of supply room control from SSG, as well as really, really early kills coming out from Bosco and from Rampy as well.
Indeed, yeah.
This kind of made sure that they didn't have the manpower necessary to try and hold it down. It was a 2v5 before we really saw much actually happen in the round.
Everybody was still outside, and it was a 2-on-5 already, and then that just spells hyper-aggression, well, maybe over-aggression right here from the sides of Honor Amongst Thieves, because you shouldn't be 2v5 already when literally no one of the attacking team has entered the building yet. Something is going wrong at that point.
Something's going wrong. We don't know what it is just yet. As we go, Flak will reinforce onto supply room, see what he can do here. And yeah, they've learned. They've learned exactly what's going to happen here. It's going to be a customs control from Space Station. That's exactly how they're going to push. And they've reacted to that by reinforcing everything that is necessary to stop that from happening. It's not mean that it can't happen. It's just going to be harder.
They will have to use more utility if they want to make it happen. So most likely we will see the likes of Space Station either go for a office push and take archives from there, with that take the top floor control, or they will just go for a regular armory take. And what do you think is more likely? Them going for office armory, or just still trying to go for the actual jail and customs area? The way they're set up right now.
I don't know. I feel like Space Station, I've kind of just baited out Honor Amongst Thieves to change out their defense, and now they're just going to go upstairs and do a regular take.
That as well. Because last time we had like 4 people downstairs, just one guy opening up the wall, then holding that same angle. That's something that you don't often see, but it worked out wondrous because they wanted to go aggressive right there, and they managed to pick up those frags, which really worked well for Space Station Gaming. We're now looking to get their 3rd round on the board and just walk away from Honor Amongst Thieves, to be fair.
Billboard still holding down his customs in this very, very tight angle onto the window outside of CCTV there, as he comes all the way back into the front office desk. Benji just playing again behind this half wall, looking to not get too aggressive as he did last time, get shut down immediately by Bosco. But this push is going to come down from Space Station. This time they have so many more people stacked outside of box wall, ready to try and push through onto this upstairs take. I mean, they have everything they need to do it for that upstairs take. And last time they went for events plant as well. I think they're going to try and do the same thing here.
Yeah, definitely. They are most likely going to be trying to get rid of the person behind the half wall first and move on from there. Question is though, how will they do that? There's an ADS right there. They will know that right now. They're actually just going to be wasting it with a flashbangs right there. So a grenade is soon to be following. And that grenade can actually take him down. Will indeed take him down. Rampy picks up the first frag. Will get instantly traded out by Dave right there though. But still, the half wall has been cleared. The objective has been accomplished so far.
Yeah, it has been accomplished so far indeed. We will see a lot of control, but they've lost their buck.
Yeah.
A lot of soft destruction off the board. We still have Charla. We still have that secondary shotgun. There can still be that soft destruction. As well, so we're going to see another thermite is going to be going down. Just open up a little bit more stuff here on border. But Dave still has a lot of control up here. Not playing the Maestro anymore, but is going to be playing the Mute. And that Mute shotgun, soft destruction capability, looking good.
Not just soft destruction. Also anti-personnel right there as Bilbert will be taking down Bosco. Will be turning things into a 4-3 in favor of Honor Amongst Thieves, who are looking to pick up the rounds that they need. But Tinkernet just holding that angle once again, thinking that he can pick up yet another frag. And well, it could definitely be possible. With 13 seconds left, the smoke canisters are now coming down. It's going to be Space Station that is going to be pressured quite a lot right here. It's going to be just frags after frags. And Honor Amongst Thieves, especially after that, pick it up and draw things up to a 2-on-2 situation where they still have the opportunity to come out on top with the number of rounds.
It's even weird from Spacestation. Like they looked like they wanted to do the upstairs take, and they kind of just saw what was happening up there, and they just couldn't affect it. So they tried to do their same take again. I think the thermite charge went down as a supply room wall. But now Hat are ready for it. Now they still have that upstairs control. Now they still have the manpower to shut all of that down. On top of that, they had that detention kill. So
yeah, that was a
sorry,
no.
The thermite went down to the detention wall then.
Yeah.
To try and get control of the supply room, but we still have those reinforcements inside the supply room that stop that control getting rid of. And also, your rampy is off the board, your buck is off the board. At that point, we don't have the soft destruction that you really need to try and get that angle open. So, yeah, in the end, I think it just goes wrong for Spacestation because they try and do the same take they did last time, and it just didn't work for them at all. But we are going to go into round number 5. This is still looking winnable for Honor. Among Thieves.
Indeed,
they do need this round, though.
They will need this round because otherwise it's going to be very hard for them. Spacestation will have the defensive side after this one. So Honor amongst Thieves will have to do anything possible to get this round into their bags, and I definitely hope that they will at least try to do so. Same setup coming out again. However, this time we will see the Maestro to come into play instead of a mute. Let's see how effective that will be. Of course, we are back to top floor instead of the ventilation workshop, so it requires a little bit of a alteration of the strategy.
I mean, we talk about alteration strategy, but there really hasn't been any difference in operator lineup coming out from Spacestation. That tends to be the case with most teams. They tend to just take a similar lineup and then maybe using their flex to change through things as they need it. But Spacestation seem pretty satisfied with this lineup so far. So, you know, we will see how it does get utilized this way around. Our Among Thieves, however, have changed stuff around rarely. They have kind of moved between the Mute and the Maestro a few times here from Dave.
Depending on the side as well.
I think they're both pretty effective, though.
Yeah, definitely. They both do whatever they need to do, and you know, they picked them for a reason. The reason seems to be valid as they are right now to 2 points. Now, of course, they want to go up to the third round. That is, well, completely into their own hands right now. As if they play this perfectly fine, they should be winning this one. In the meantime, though, it's going to be Spacestation to open up the armory wall. Rotates come through into CCTV, and CCTV is just uncontested right there. And that's something that Honor amongst Thieves could potentially do to improve right here. Next time they will be playing against Spacestation, or maybe in overtime for Border, if it gets that far. Get people into CCTV because they just, you know, they are so quick in opening up that wall, uncontested, that could actually help you out just a tiny bit.
Yeah, having the box wall open is definitely going to be pretty essential here for Spacestation to try and get a little bit of a grip on what's going on here. And they also have that 90 wall open. So they've already used both of their thermites, but they've got plenty of control for it. But Brian does have that diffuser in hand. We've still got Billboard on the roam downstairs. He does have that nitro cell. He could deny that entry coming through effectively.
Indeed.
As Spacestation still holding on, however, still got all the cards to play for. It's still 5v5. We've only got 1 minute left to go on the clock. Things are about to get very, very scary for Hat, but they seem to be ready for it. And we've still got Flak ready to rotate where he can.
Yeah.
I think this 90 wall is more about just holding it rather than pushing from it. They have the drone there. They're just going to hold 90.
They know when he's going to be coming there, right? Yeah. And then they will be ready for a potential frag as well. It's just going to be Flak prepping that window to possibly jump out from, making sure that if someone is on the ventilation shafts, they can actually take him down. But look at the control being gained right here with the Spacestation. Even though they lose off on the first side. Oh, look at that C4 potentially coming through. Won't be actually taking someone up. Taking Apex up 2. Actually, Rampy picking up 1 as well. Just a knife kill. Just complete chaos coming down right there. And we're in a 2-on-2 situation right now. But look at these two members of Honor amongst Thieves. They are so low, but the time is in their favor. They will need to hold on for as long as they can right now. And with 7 seconds left, it might be actually possible. It's going to be Tinker Nate to pick up 1, and Rampy eventually to pick up Flak as well. It's going to be Spacestation to bang in that third round. And, well, with that time left, that shouldn't have happened. They should have just rotated out instead of going for a peek right there.
When the Legion prepped the window for a run out, I think he did it so he can make the rotate into archives.
Yeah.
Not so that he could run out for like.
Oh yeah,
like
so
a
if he ran all the way around,
Yeah.
then he could go back to
he's
office.
kind of safe to do that if
Yeah.
he thinks they're going to push purely from box, which in those last 30 seconds he probably is. So it's actually a really smart play from Legion to do
Okay.
that, and he needs to get past the site. He can't go through 90.
Yeah, true.
So yeah.
Yeah, okay, I
So
get that
it's
one.
Good. It's good. So round number 6 getting underway now is going to be the very first attack coming out from Honor Among Thieves. They are at a deficit here. 2 rounds isn't bad, but it is now going to be an uphill battle. It's not exactly in their favor. Spacestation are looking to take this.
Definitely Spacestation will be trying to get to that final, get for that spot into the minor in Las Vegas. Now, let us see if Spacestation can get their stuff together, actually play a little bit less of a chaotic defensive side as, well, just looking at last time, there was a lot of clutches coming out for the likes of Bosco. And that is something that they want to iron out before they actually continue here.
You may have noticed Dave was doing a bit of like snap and shaking with his aim. It's like a meme in NA where they try and pretend they have like war hats or something.
Yeah, okay.
They're like, oh, I'm hacking. But no, he's not. He's just an idiot. I'm afraid.
He's just memeing around.
But that's Dave for you.
I mean, he's been on Space Station for a reason, right?
He has, yeah.
Gotta
They
be
are
a
the
good
quintessential
memer.
memers of NA. That is true. So, round of 6 getting underway. We'll see an Armory Lockers defense coming out from Space Station. Not anything too crazy coming out. We did kind of talk about how they're probably going to run the Valkyrie here pretty much every single round. We already saw it every single round from Honor Among Thieves.
Yeah.
It can be very effective here, honestly. Even when the IQ is up, but we're actually not going to see any IQ coming out from Honor Among Thieves. We are seeing a heck load of soft destruction though. And it's actually a very kind of default lineup as well. Like, you could go back to like
everything.
the first Pro League season, and you could still see this lineup.
Definitely. Like, Buck was around back then as well, so like it's been viable back then. It's still going to be possible that you can actually pick up some rounds right here because just you have 2 sets of grenades, which is quite big. You have the opportunity to open up every single wall that you want, considering you have the Tetcher and Thermite combo. And you can play both vertically, like from upside down, whatever. You just have so much flexibility with this lineup right here. But it really relies you on actually having fragging power as well, though.
Fragging power.
Yeah.
That's really been the kind of aim of the game so far.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We've seen a lot of aggression coming out more from Honor Among Thieves, but we've definitely seen aggression coming from Space Station. Oh my god! Billboard with the Kobe is going to come through, picks up Bosco, easy as that. Smoke going to go down so early on. That is a devastating hit there for Space Station, and this is the other thing about Honor Among Thieves. They've got 4 nades on the table to play with, and things like that can happen definitely in force. As Rampy does manage to kill back in force, but Dave and Prompty both get in. They both get the entry kills. It's now a 4v2. Dave is going to try and plant the diffuser where he can, but then we go into Archive's thinking nade. He's going to be bringing it back. And there goes Billboard's head as Benji is down, but not out, but he's going to get revived promptly by Prompty.
Yeah, indeed. And technically we are, well, temporarily in a 1-on-2 situation right now, but as the revive already came through, we're back in the 3-on-2. C4 comes down, will actually pick up the frag right there, brings it back to a 2-on-2 situation. However, there's no more utility left right now on the side of Space Station Gaming, which means they will have to out-aim them, outplay them. And it will be prompted to pick up the first frag right there, brings it into a 2-on-1 in favor of Honor Among Thieves right here. They could potentially pick this one up right here, but it's going to be Chala to go for a Ninja Defuse right there. Benji will be cooking that grenade, but the question is, will it be in time with 2 seconds left? Will be rotating off right there. Picks up 1 frag, picks up 2. No, it's going to be prompted to finish things off. And I wonder if he just sticked for the defuse, would he been able to
I don't think he would have been able to, just because Prompty was pushing him as well.
Yeah, okay.
I think Chala made the good decision there to get off and go for the frag, because he did actually get the kill, but then he just got game traded.
Indeed.
So like I think he was fine to do that. I think, you know, it's a risk or whatever to do one thing or the other in that situation. But look at Rampy.
Oh, look at Rampy indeed.
Rampy, I believe, still holds the record for most kills in a normal competitive match, not one that goes on for 1 million rounds like we had in the Invitational.
Oh, 22 rounds on Coastline?
Yeah. So
that was amazing.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the bigger fraggers. Him and Bosco definitely are heavy up there in terms of fraggers in North America. And they're definitely showing their colours here today. we'll see how round number 7 gets underway, as we are all tied up at 3 apiece.
All right, back to Armory Loggers we go once again. Seems to be a recurring theme.
We've only seen Armory invent so far, and we've seen Spacestation win, then Hat win, then Spacestation win, then Hat win. It's been alternating the entire map.
True, like one Space Station Hat, and then even continues over, carries over to the other side. So that's going to be the case. We're going to be ending up in a overtime with a coin flip. Well, no, actually not, because look at that. If we keep on going, even after overtime, the Space Station would win it.
Who knows? Who knows what the Siege Gods will decide here? But we'll see how round number 7 gets underway here, as we see Space Station trying to desperately hold on to Armory this time and seeing exactly what they can do with it. This is kind of your site that you expect to win.
Yeah. You're expecting to win this one straight away. Now, both these teams lost them on the first try. So let's see if Space Station can actually win it this time. That's going to be the thing to see, because if Honor Amongst Thieves win it again right now, then Space Station is in big trouble, like very big trouble.
Nade getting ready for the pre-place Nitro onto East, but can't manage to get it down just yet. Triple Ball is going to be getting done by the Bandit Trick. I really don't, agree with him doing this. I don't think it's worth it to die for this, considering how many nades were being brought by Hat in the previous round. It's so easy to nade someone out of this position.
Indeed.
I don't think the Bandit is worth dying as a Bandit tricking on Triple Wall. It's not that important to hold down. I think honestly just reinforcing it and just letting it go, it's completely fine.
They're
but
wasting an extra
he is actually going to try and do it, and he is going to successfully get away with it. It looks like he did get it down just in time, but Prompted is going to push all the way up into officers. He does manage to get him down, and that's kind of what I was talking about.
Yeah. Lost his life
wait,
right there.
he did get it. Yeah, so he did get the exothermic charge.
Oh, he got both of them?
So now... No, he
got one, but the wall's still going to be opened up. So,
but now Archives can't get opened up by exothermic charge. So that is pretty devastating. Charla will manage to peek out and just get Billboard off the board. That's the IQ off. What? Beautiful shot from Benji. Oh my god, there goes Brian's head, just cleaning fly off. But as I said, now Archives wall can't get opened up. This is going to be a lot harder for Hat to actually get in.
Yeah, they will have to force themselves through these choke points, and Prompter will do so successfully, also taking down Rampy. Suddenly it's a 4-2 situation, and these grenades still flying in right here. Bosco doing whatever he can to just hold on to the side right here. He's going to get pushed from 2 different angles anytime soon now.
Flank going to try and make his way slowly in. He'll catch out Charla, and now it's all down to Bosco. We've seen him clutch things before, but it won't happen today. Prompted will shut him down, and Hat are bringing it back. They will win their second Armory attack in a row, and I think at this point, Space Station are going to be thinking to themselves, okay, we need to go somewhere else.
Yeah, they need to swap things up right here after they lost it for the second round in a row, and second round as well was pretty convincingly a win from Hat right there. So that is something that they will have to keep into account, that Armory Loggers is just not their side for today. And thus they will decide to go Ventilation Workshop if they want to have an opportunity at actually winning this match.
So, Vents Room defense, we kind of just expected this, as we were just talking about.
Yeah.
They're going to go somewhere else. Tends to be the thing for teams is that they lose 2 times in a row. Okay, we'll go somewhere else. This is also the other defense we were talking about how you're basically expected to win this one.
Indeed. Now, which is strange. It's like 3 times as a charm is like the saying, right? Doesn't seem to be counted for Siege, as you don't want to risk the third round as well. After
especially with the reduced round format.
Yeah,
as well.
Especially with the reduced round format. Every single round will definitely count. And even though it's great if you're like on the winning side of things, because you will win faster. If you're trying to fight back, you don't want to take those risks that you otherwise would potentially take in the 12-round format. So that could potentially be throwing SSG off guard right here. Make sure that they have to think a little bit more on their actual site rotation. And thus, on our own Steve's playing into that perfectly so far. We're looking at map number 2. Current score is 4-3. Now, winner of this matchup will be going up to the finals against, I believe it's going to be Accelerate. Not actually sure. Could be Proximity as well. And that will be for the minor spot.
I believe it is Accelerate.
All right.
That is who they won on the other semi-final. I don't have 100% confirmation, but from what people were saying in the chat earlier, I'm pretty sure it is Accelerate. So I'm just going to be banking on Twitch chat here for the first time in my life.
That's a dangerous move, Sternap. Very dangerous move.
But getting into round about 8, we are going to see Honor Among Thieves attacking the vents for the very first time, and they are going to go for pretty much the same take in what Spacestation did, which is kind of surprising that Spacestation wouldn't reinforce any of this in the customs, considering that they tore Heart apart with this very same strategy.
Indeed. That's rule number one when you make a strategy. You have to actually notice which, like, how where the weaknesses are, right? And how people could be using it against you. So them not being able, well, or right now not countering off their own strategies right here is something that could potentially come back to harm them, especially if they manage to lose this round due to it. Exothermic charge will be placed in the bathroom and will continue to open up that first wall. No, Bandit was close to try and Bandit trick it, as the actual wire is going to be located on the actual wrong one. Brian is going to get down. This means that the smoke will be temporarily out of play and possibly permanently, as Chella now gets the frag. Is going to be a actual grenade coming down, but Rampy and Bosco both pick at one, and that turns it back into a 2-on-4 situation in favor of Spacestation, who are not done as of yet. Tinky Nate then picks at one as well. It's going to be all up to Benji now in a 1-on-4 situation. He has to clutch it if he wants to put his team at a map point.
Oh, what a shot from Bosco. I'm excited to see this now, because that was an insanely quick reaction from Bosco coming through here. He's just going to pop through, and yeah,
just
bam,
pre-fire.
Nice pre-fire coming out from Bosco then. So yeah, that's going to be the first defense win coming out from Spacestation, and pretty convincingly as well. They seem to have a pretty good idea about where the push was coming from. They were in the site, but they just didn't know what to do with that control, and they didn't exactly have the manpower to hold onto it either. But look at that Rampy, 12-4 right now. But as we said, Prompted has been doing a pretty good job on that entry, and he's been proving it here on Border as well with that 8-5 scoreline. It's not all about KD, of course.
Of course.
But it can tell a good story about how good your kind of entries are. And you're seeing Jaeger and Ash both on that top kill feed.
Yeah, shows.
That's
indeed.
all.
Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Like, back in Season 1, everything said Ash Jaeger main. Now that changed when Ella came around, I would assume. Like, people said Ella was going to be the new Jaeger. But the meta seems to be shifting back towards Jaeger, already shifted back, actually. We don't really see much Ella into play anymore. Like, so every now and then, but we see, well, of course, Jaeger has the better gadget. The more viable gadget.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. You definitely see quite a lot of Jaeger. He is necessary, especially when you've seen Honor Among Thieves bringing 4 nades during the first attack round.
You don't want to leave out your Jaeger, because
you don't want to leave out that Jaeger. It can be very devastating. It's been some pretty impressive nades so far today, and I'm sure we'll continue to see them. I'm wondering if Thinking Nade's going to continue to try and trick Triple Wall. I mean, it kind of worked for him last time.
Yeah, but he lost his life. If only the guy who jumped up on the shelves right there was watching the entrance, he could have possibly protected him from it.
I think just my big issue with trying to do this is I just don't think it's worth it for the Bandit to die for this. Because there's a big chance that he won't successfully Bandit trick, and they can just go to the roof and just nade him out of this position.
That is well.
So, or they could just go to East Stairs and nade him out of there instead. I just don't think it's worth it for you to die. And at this point as well, this rotate can get cut off from the balcony on the south side, and you can watch the office door. So there's basically no way out of the situation unless you have the hatch open, which he doesn't.
Yeah, we'll probably not use a C4 either to open up that hatch, of course, because there's no other opportunity. Now, Space Station looking to get up to round number 5, as right now it seems like the execute seems to be coming down. Flashbangs coming down as well, just as the EMP grenades. The exothermic charge will actually be too late. I believe he won't be Bandit tricked, and that means that Bandit will actually be brought back to 1 HP. Thinking Nate managing to, well, stay alive for now. It's going to be Bosco to lose his life first to the hands of Hat. And once again, they will get the entry frag, something that they have been consistently doing so far. I believe only once or twice it was in the hands of Space Station Gaming so far this series.
Yeah, and drones are going to start to come ahead of the Hat main attack here, but they do have the smoke off the board. And
Yeah.
it's been Bosco who's been responsible for quite a lot of the clutches against Hat. Spacestation are starting to fall apart at the seams now, it would seem. But they do have Chala on the board. He is still downstairs with that Nitro, and as long as that Nitro is still downstairs and in position to do things, things like that can happen. But Brian gets the double kill as they start to push into him. Eventually does get traded with Dave, and because of that one-man advantage, they can kind of afford to do that. Dave is, however, going to get downed himself as Flag pulls all the way back onto the box wall. Oh, but MP is going to shut him right on down all the way from CC. Great fight coming out from him. He's not going to realize that Dave is down, but he does have control of the diffuser. That's going to leave things into the hands of Billboard, but he won't be able to make it work. Chala will shut him down, and then we'll see Spacestation take round number 9.
Great flank right there, especially Brian just starting things off right there, getting that double kill, followed up by the down of Thinking Nade onto Dave. Now, they could have just easily picked him back up, but if it wasn't for the actual flank of the Jaeger, that round could have gone completely different. Like, they could have gone back into a 3-on-3 situation actually to take care of the Jaeger who came into the flank and just keep on going from there. But it's going to be a match point right now for the sides of Space Station Gaming, who are going to customs and supply right now.
Customs.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about this. We haven't seen Bathroom Tellers.
No.
Yet.
Not today.
Well, we saw it in EU. We didn't see it in NA.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. So, like, my issue with this site is that, like, we talk a lot about Border, about how it's vertical play orientated, right?
Yeah.
This more so than any other site on this map.
Definitely, like, the top floor control is so important. If you lose top control early on, if you lose CCTV early on, then your round is basically lost already. Now, there's very little teams that, when they lose CCTV in the first minute, still manage to somehow win the round by playing solely downstairs. And it's going to be it's just going to be key to Space Station Gaming to keep control of CCTV and everything surrounding it. So most likely we'll get one guy playing an armory just to back someone up if the door is going to get pushed. 1 or 2 guys playing CCTV, and then the rest downstairs.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh yeah,
Billboard.
definitely.
That's a really good cam coming out there. So you all saw it stream. Now it's going to be useless because everyone's going to see it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
So good job, Fluke.
I actually didn't see it right there. Flat.
Yeah.
He just walked past.
Well, it doesn't look like he sees it. It's because the lighting is quite heavy on that side. So yeah, it's quite hard to see indeed. But Prompted is going to open it. That's the angle I was talking about before, where you can open up that wall a little bit and you can see into offices and you can shut off any rotates there, of any tricky bandits that are on the triple wall. But it doesn't look like there's anyone there just yet, as Dave is going to repel onto this east balcony and they're going to get quick control of offices. I think this is a pretty aggressive place for the Thermite to be. Like, I guess like everyone's going in at the same time, but I think you have to be
more
conscious of where your Thermite is.
Beautiful.
But Brian, oh my god, what a shot from him, but Dave will trade it back. Brian just take down Prompted, and that has been one of the better entry fragments coming out from Hat, but no longer. 4v4 situation now, but they do have quite a lot of the upstairs control around Armory, and this is kind of one of the areas you need control of, because if you try and control CC and you're on that balcony, you're going to be constantly harassed from the Armory side.
Yeah, true. So you need to make sure that Armory is actually going to be clear if you want to take down CCTV. That's exactly what Hat has done. Now, they've lost their Ash, but the Ash is not the biggest impact. I think the Maestro loss is way worse on the side of Space Station, because those Evil Eyes will just be out of commission. And that is something that you are probably not going to be too happy about, as it's now going to be solely up to the Alibi, just laying prone behind the desk right here, hoping that she can pick up 1 or 2 frags and diffuse the entire situation up here. She's going to get pushed anytime soon right now by 3 members of Hat. It's all going to be lying up to Rampy right here, onto actually holding onto it. Will get picked up by Benji after missing his shots. And that means that Space Station are falling apart, and it looks like we are going to overtime.
Flak isn't going to get caught out by those alibi tricks. He's still going to be staring towards Charl and will take him down, but the wallbang coming out onto Bosco. There goes Billboard onto him. As we'll see, it's all down to Thinking Nade to try and bring it in for his team. You'll see one onto the vent door, but they now know where Thinking Nade is, and Flak will pick him up on the flank. Hat will take round number 10. What a comeback for Hat to try and bring this in.
Oh boy. Now, let us see. Who will be starting on the defense? It's going to be SSG again, but
But
looking at
it's
this,
gone pretty much even, honestly.
yeah, but it was like both of the teams won 3 rounds under attack, so you might want to favor attack just a little bit, especially since the last attacking round was won as well by Hat. So
but then you got to think it's so evenly
it's
balanced
still even balanced out,
that
of course.
we've seen it go back and forth with pretty much the entire series. This is neck and neck, and I think this is exactly the kind of map we were thinking that it was going to go down. But on top of that, this is Hat. And we were talking about if Hat can pull an upset on any map, it's probably going to be Border. And they're doing exactly that. This is also the first time we've gone to overtime as well.
Indeed.
We didn't see overtime in the 2 EU games we had. But the second map of Spacestation versus Hat, we have had our first overtime. So NA proving to be a little bit more competitive than EU was, I think.
At least for this tournament.
No, overall. Completely.
Overall, okay.
Unfortunately. This is a clear sample.
Alright, just because we have overtime
Yes.
instantly.
That's
Alright.
100% proof, I'm afraid. So now getting to overtime. Match point now. This is not looking too good. I don't think that's correct.
What's correct?
The overtime match point.
No. That is quite an issue, I assume.
I guess that'll be sorted out when we get to it.
I guess so indeed. I don't think any of the teams have noticed as of yet, but we have. Flick, what are you doing? Oh well. I even saw him check out, double checking if he actually had the stats, the actual settings right at the start.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
But it is going to be Spacestation who stand out with their defenses here and see exactly what they can do about that. Yeah, it looks like we are going to rehost and we are going to cut to a thing because it's bugged out. It's unfortunate, but Benji is going to get the opening kill onto Rampy instead. But
seems like the round isn't going to be played.
We're not going to be playing the round. We are just going to be resaying it. So everyone's just going to run in, try and kill each other. We won't be able to see that, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
There we go. So
yeah, even though they got the first opening there, won't matter because the fresh round rehost was already called. So 5-5 current scoreline, could still go either way. Of course, Space Station have the advantage that they're already one map up with the scoreline of 6-2 on Villa. Now, do you think this rehost will either benefit Space Station or on our most Thieves?
I don't think it's going to benefit anyone. I think at this point, you've got to overtime. Both teams are going to be pretty aware about how the other team's going to play.
Yeah.
And you should just be like, it's going to evenly benefit both teams. They can just both step back and be like, okay, this is the laydown. This is what's going to happen, and this is what we need to do in order to react to what's going on. So we saw, honestly, we saw better reaction from Hat. We didn't really see too much change in Space Station's strategy.
No,
we saw a lot of change in Hat though.
Yeah, Hat constantly evolved in how they approach the bomb sites, approach the actual building. So they are indeed more adaptable so far. So possibly that can actually come in quite handy in the overtime, because like you'll be swapping over from site to site constantly, so you will have to adapt on the get-go. Like you don't have, all right, if we don't get it next round, then we'll get it the round after, because you'll be swapping over to the other side at that point. So you have to make your rounds count right here. And that is indeed, like, adaptability is going to be a really important factor for that.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And it's also, you know, you've seen everything that they're going to do.
Yeah.
We've seen Thinking They Trick triple twice in a row now for those armory defenses. So we know exactly how that's all going to work out. Hat have a great opportunity here to bring in this. And we did say this has been slightly attacker-sided so far.
Yeah.
And then we have seen, you know, people come through in the attack. We've seen 3 attack wins for both sides. That's brought us to OT. So you might argue that starting on the defense is a little bit against you here, but we did also see that the last time they defended Armory, Space Station did take it.
Yeah, indeed. And also they went to ventilation first, which they got instantly last time. So that could also prove, well, quite advantageous for them. Yeah, they won it quite convincingly back then. So there's not much that Hat on, like, it was won pretty convincing, by SSG, so there's not like small minor mistakes that if they fix it, then they would instantly win the round. So like that is going to be the case on things like Armory, which was actually quite close.
I just want to point out here as well that we are in the HyperX studio, of course. That is run by Allied Esports, and they've been doing a great job building the props here and building the studio around. We got a nice little Tachanka helmet.
Oh, definitely.
Which is good.
See the Alpha 045 right there.
So do go give them a follow on Twitter. Of course, they've been doing a great job here of running the qualifier and everything like that. I know there was some upset about the kind of format as well, the qualifier, but you know, I honestly haven't worked in a better studio before than this. So I would definitely go recommend checking them out. You know, I think that everyone in the Rainbow community can agree that we need more esports companies like this in Rainbow, just helping out and doing streams. I think a lot of people have been giving pretty good feedback about the production quality. So yeah, go check them out, go give them a follow, go give them your support because they certainly deserve it. But let's say Border doesn't go into the favor of Spacestation. We go to Consulate.
Yeah, I have no clue which way that could go. Like, in my opinion, Consulate is a similar kind of map to Border, not like the way it plays out, just by personal experience. Like, I always had pretty good games on Border. Now there's similar kind of like sights, like not in visuals, but they somehow play out the same way on the sides of Consulate. So whoever wins Border, I think, is also going to be winning Consulate, just because they're better at that type of map, so to say.
Well, we will see Spacestation trying to lock out the series here and now before we do get onto Consulate, if it is going to get there. Looking to bring us there. It is going to be overtime. It is going to be a standard overtime with 3 rounds with a 1-round swap. So this means that Spacestation are going to get 2 defenses. But we kind of said that, you know, honestly, this has been pretty attacker-sided so far.
True. So has the advantage here. They have the opportunity to bring it up to, well, to bring it up to their second map, go up to the third map, bring their first one home. But of course, they will first have to win this round if they want to. Ventilation Room Workshop is going to be the bomb site that we are defending right now. Let's see how Spacestation will be taking this one on. What they will change compared to last time they were here.
It's interesting. They have, I mean, we talked about how Spacestation haven't really been changing it up.
Yeah.
Now it's time to change up. And then if you're going to do it anyways, it's going to be overtime, right?
I mean, definitely. Like, if you're going to change things up, you want to do it in overtime, especially after you just played each other for 10 rounds and you haven't changed anything during those 10 rounds, then if you do it right now, you might even throw your enemy off guard right here. And that might be the reason why we see different kind of setup emerging from the sides of Spacestation. Now, of course, we still have to wait until the final seconds have passed, until we're actually somewhat deep into the action phase to see if they have indeed changed things up.
So, what do you think Hat's kind of strategy is going in here? We haven't really seen different operators from them. I mean, the first round they brought a Sledge instead of an IQ, but other than that, we haven't really seen any adaptation from them on their operator lineup, but we have seen adaptation in how they utilize
the attack.
that
Yeah, I'm thinking they're just trying to get a pick right now, or spot our weakness in the defenses, or a gap to just move through and try and go from there. Right, like right now you see them in CCTV. That spells out they're going to be going for Armory next time. Like that's going to be their next target, especially if you look at where all these operators are going to be located at. Benji also joins in with the party right now, which will most likely indicate that a frag grenade is soon to be tossed onto that bandit wall right there. Now, if that's going to be the case, then we will have to hope that Thinking Nate will move out in time, because otherwise he's going to be losing his life.
Well, Charlie going to be hunting down onto the half wall, making sure that Thinking Nate can't get quite pushed out here, as he's going to be going for the bandit trick. ADS is looking to get burned here as Nate starts to go through. Thinking Nate on a sliver of HP is going to try and do it. He does get flashed, however. 2 flashes bangs are going to go through, and more Nate's going through. There we go. Eventually, he is going to go down, but Charla does confirm the kill onto Benji. Tries to go for a wide peek onto Locker Sandwich, but prompted will shut down all hopes and dreams of that. Thinking Nate is down on the box wall as well. Space Station are looking to lose their grip right now on the control of box.
At that moment, though, like, he knew one was probably going to be on the sandwich window right there. Like, it would have probably been better if he would have just stuck behind Halfwall, waste a lot of time right there, because there's only 1 minute 10 left on the clock. Like, he would have died either way. Right now, though, they have given away full top control because he didn't stay at that area, and that means Hat now have the freedom of moving upstairs without even being contested. But it's not completely true, because Rampy is still lurking around right here.
Yeah, he's going to be lurking around inside the offices. He's got quite a lot of control here. Doesn't look like Flak is aware of it and takes him down. Oh, what a peek. There we go, Rampy's out of it. And now it's a 4v2, all down to Bosco and Brian to try and bring this in on the defense. We've seen Bosco in quite a number of clutch situations today. Let's see if he can try and do some more. Flak trying to push through onto the waiting room. Bosco still holding down where he can. What a shot from Dylan Bosco. Flak is straight off the board, and now a 3v2 situation. Spacestation can still bring this in. Brian starts to get pushed out, but he strikes back with the SMG-11. He takes out Billboard and does start to bring it in. Bosco is going to eliminate Dave with a headshot, and now it's a 1v2 on onto Prompted, but he can't make it happen. Bosco with a 3k does bring it in for Spacestation. Round number 11 is theirs, and now 1 round away from closing out the series.
Again, they are going to be 1 round away from closing out the series right here. Will they be able to do it now, as they are going to the favored attack side? Somewhat favored, we have to say, because it's not completely.
Yeah. So the very first round, when Spacestation first attacked, they went to Armory.
They won.
They pretty decisively won it, I think.
Yeah, and they won the last time they win there on the attack as well. So Armory Lockers is indeed going to be the bomb site once again. That will be picked up by Honor Amongst Thieves. Now, not sure if that's going to be the right option for them. Actually, they haven't actually played a third bomb site, so this is most likely going to be their most viable bomb site, considering options.
Interesting 6-bit coming up from Flak there, from the Legion onto the Alibi. The last time they ran the Alibi, it wasn't really that effective. We saw Billboard trying to make his way into Break Room, and they had an Alibi behind there. And I think he was trying to play off the fact that, oh, there's an Alibi there. I don't need to look at it, so I'm going to look away from Break Room now. And then he peeks up and tries to get a kill, but no. All of that was completely shut down.
Oh well. Last possible round of the semi-finals before we head off and see who our finalists may be. But if this is going to a 6-6 right here, we will have maximum overtime, and then that will mean that Hat still has the opportunity to turn this around, bring it back to a 1-1 in map score, and bring things to Consulate, where everything could be different once again. So let's just wait and see how this round will unfold with 10 seconds left to prep things up. There's going to be yet another attack, and this is going to be the actual last one off border for the side of Spacestation Gaming.
Yeah, and we'll see exactly how they want to do with that. And they're bringing pretty much, again, the same lineup that they normally bring for a border attack. I'm interested in what kind of take they want to do, because most of the time when they've been attacking Armory, they have gone for that kind of box take. And for the most part, it's kind of worked out quite well for them.
Yeah, indeed. Like 2 out of 3 rounds they have won when they went for the attack, so percentages are in their favor. All they have to hope for is that these favor, the Siege Gods, are still going to be with them, whilst we have Honor Amongst Thieves doing everything in their power to drag this on for yet another round.
Yeah, Prompted going to be holding now into Archives. He's been playing this situation quite well. We have seen an Archives take, actually, from Spacestation as well. And that went very well from pretty good nades coming out as well, just to get Prompted out of that area and just try and go for the plant early on. But Brian going to make his way all the way into security room, almost going down for it. Oh, that was so close from Benji to get the wall bang. But Benji, the last time he was playing with fire here on the half wall, it didn't go so well for him.
No, definitely not.
Events window, of course, Bosco did take him down from that. As Dave could play a locker sandwich, but through the barricade. He is going to get down by Dylan Bosco, but not going to be able to get a kill just yet. He's going to crawl his way all the way into Africa and get revived, as we see a Rampy kill come out on the entry.
Yeah, but look at this, like everybody is going to be separated now from the sides of Spacestation Gaming, who have the armory opened up. Like, Bosco's in the perfect spot right here to try and contest that, make sure no one can come back and deny the plant. And as soon as Spacestation will notice, they will be trying to do so. The diffuser will get tossed over to Thinking Nate as the grenade now gets cooked in, gets actually eaten by the ADS, and won't have any impact because of that reason. And still, everybody of Hat is just stacked up right there. They're not even trying to rotate around or get into a good position to potentially stop a plant from happening. Like, it's just the evil eye right here just giving all the information away.
Well, looks like Dave's still holding on with his Maestro Cam, seeing exactly what they're going to do, and drones are going to go ahead, of course, of the main space station attack to see what's going on here. Dave going to go for the pre-fires through the wall. He can't quite push up because there is locker sandwich control here for Bosco. He's completely cut everything in half right now, and it's like everyone's just going to have to try and pile in here if they want to try and retake the site. Thinking Nate getting all the way to half wall to try and do something here, and he's going to try and plant the diffuser down effectively. Dave pushes all the way up to try and get the kills, but Bosco and Rampy are going to stop them. Benji with the knife out onto T'Challa, but it's going to be all down to Flag to bring it in. 1v4 clutch situation to try and bring this in, but no, Rampy will shut him down with a pistol. And there we go, Spacestation will take round number 12. They'll take the series 2-0, but they'll take the map 7-5. And yeah, a really, really good game from Spacestation. I think expected overall,
especially
a 2-0
after
from
the first
Spacestation.
half.
But you know, I did say if Hat are going to take it anywhere, they're going to take it on Border.
Definitely, Border was going to be the map that had the opportunity, and you saw it as well on the scoreline, 7-5. So close. If just that first round would have gone a little bit different, or if they didn't completely lock themselves out in the second round of overtime, then Hat was going to be able to bring it back to a 6-6, for example, and take it afterwards.
Yeah, definitely. But it looks like we are going to head to a break now before we have our grand finals here to decide who is going to get through into North America qualifier. Don't forget, they'll be joining their brothers in Las Vegas for a ticket there. As you know, it should be a good matchup. Should be a good event next month in Las Vegas at the Grand Pyramid, the HyperX Esports Arena, to play for $75,000 a LAN. It's going to be the final coming up in just a few months for who will get their ticket to Vegas. Stick around and we'll be right back.